baby. No problems this time. No problems this time. There we go. Thank you, YouTube. YouTube, you've been so good since we sent a couple threats out there. Ever since we threatened you a couple times about deplatforming, we've been pretty good. Thank you. Thank you.
You only need a couple. They want it to be hot. It was like deplatforming.
Yeah, they like to cut them off when they get too deep.
Are these guys right enough?
Area 51 raid, cut. Cut. We could not. Is that true about the Air Force? Did they really say like don't do it?
I didn't read that article.
I didn't read it because that's like such a joke. I figured like, just don't do it.
But the headline I read, of course, the headline I read was
a joke, right?
The Air Force was like, "We're ready. We stand by ready."
Bombs or some
like
shit.
it was like the quote that I saw was, "We stand by ready to protect America and its assets."
I see one that was way more nasty. Yeah. That's why I just thought it was a complete joke. Where it's just like the Air Force is going to kill anyone that runs up or something like that.
From what I've seen, the way it looks, it's like they're like, "We're not going to tell you not to do it, but if you try, we'll deck you, we'll shoot you."
How many people do you think it takes? How many people do you think it takes to storm Area 51?
Like what do you mean? Like how many people to get through? Or like just
to get in Area 51, how many people we need?
Get a couple 100,000. I mean,
I
can't imagine that they'll ever really anticipate a couple 100,000 showing up.
500,000 charge.
And I think they'll think before they shoot all those
you're
people.
Not going to kill 500,000 people.
You know,
but you're just like, and then you tell everyone, no recording.
But I would hope you would, by the time they shoot 3 of you, everyone's like, okay.
What about if they just EMP'd us real quick, right? They just EMP everything around and then they massacred those people. You wouldn't know. Nobody would know. There'd be nothing to record, bro.
Well, I think it'd be shared like, oh, my nephew went to the Storm Area 51. He never came home.
Where's his body? If he's not the body, you ain't got a case.
And like 3 years down the line, it's like, all right, we're Storm Area 51. We find out the answers. Did they kill everyone?
We want to dig up Area 51 now.
No. Did they kill them?
Like 500 years from now, they dig up around Area 51. There's like
mass
extinction, right?
Just mass graves of just people. Like they all took multiple gunshot wounds.
You remember that part in that Call of Duty where it's just hard as shit, where you're laying like in that water fountain? You're laying in that water fountain, like in that water fountain spot in the middle of that spot, and you got a fake dead, and they're coming by with the tank and just like shooting up dead bodies, and you like hide behind and shit, yo. And it's the sniper mission.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
and World of War, I think.
Yeah, no, that's the first one, Modern Warfare. The one I was thinking was the No Russia mission on Modern Warfare 2, where you just go in and shoot up an airport.
Yeah, no. This one, you're like, fucking, that shit was realistic as fuck, yo. And they're just walking down with that MP40, just put a couple caps on random people and shit.
Yeah, with that sniper and shit, yeah. And you're laying, and like, there's another part where you lay there, and the tank and the people, like, walk right by.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah. And, like, as he comes by, he shoots a body up right next to you.
Yeah, you're right,
They just, like, shoot into the crowd just to make sure everybody's dead.
Yeah, like, that one and, that goddamn one where you shoot up the airport, man, was, like, fuck. Especially when you shoot up the airport.
Yeah, it was crazy. A savage one. You know what? These have some good ass missions too. Medal of Honor, bro.
Yeah, Medal of
Honor had the first D-Day mission.
Yeah.
That shit was hard.
Yeah, storming the Normandy.
Yeah, bro. PS2, cool I think. Maybe PS1 for all I can remember.
And this is like, it's one of my favorite words of all time where when they were breaking up those sand dunes, like the sand bunkers. With the Bangalores. The Bangalores.
You stick them in, and then you're waiting with the flamethrowers. They come running out. Yeah. But I just love the part like when you're coming in on the ships, yo. And it's just like all wobbly and shit. Then a big ass missile hits you. And then they lower the thing. And when they lower the thing, it's like
you see the machine gun fire taking everyone out.
Yeah, taking everyone out, bro. It was so savage.
But like those missions always those missions were always fucking crazy because like we've all seen Saving Private Ryan. It's like you drop that gate, and the weird thing is like everyone's helmets are sticking out, but not your face. But everyone's helmets are above the boat. You know what I'm saying? Like that was another weird thing.
Yeah, technically.
And then just boom, here comes the ramp, and just.
It's just that's one of the moments where once you're on the boat, you're on the boat, right?
How was that? Exactly. You know, turn back into that.
Yeah, but the thing is like,
kind of hope you're in the back, I guess. Or maybe you hope you're in the front because then you can hurry and get the cover before they really start laying fire on your boat, you know? I don't know. Maybe be in the middle somewhere. I couldn't tell you where the best place to stand is on that one. I just don't want to be in the front.
All I'm saying is I'm debating literally as we're coming up. As we're coming up on the boats, I'm debating just hopping over, bro. Like in the middle of the ocean, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah.
I'm debating just jumping, bro, and just being like, you know what? When they lower them things, 9 out of 10 of us are dead.
Exactly.
So
man.
you say whatever you want. AWOL, send me to jail. I don't give a fuck.
And like, I mean, I can't say I know every World War II operation or whatever, but to think that's one of the ones that like, you know, were like the first, you know, nail in the coffin to end the war. Like to me, it's like that seemed like. You stormed a beach. Millions of people got shot dead, and eventually you took over the beach. But I mean, it was like, what the fuck?
No,
like,
my thing is, bro,
that's just insane.
Well, I don't know the full story behind it, but from what I know, that was the only port of entry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because on the coastlines of most of that area, it's just fucking rocky mountains. Like, there's another story. A little further way down, I think it's like on not France, because Normandy's in France. I don't think it's not France, but I think it's somewhere along that similar coastline where in order for the boats to make it to Normandy, Marines had to scale the cliff face, get up and clear these anti-air bunkers, destroy the anti-air guns so that raids could come in and bomb.
Wow.
So like it's literally a 300 fucking foot cliff. They pull up on a boat.
And they scale?
And they climb the goddamn rock face.
Fucking Game of Thrones style.
Marines, and they storm this shit and they start clearing everything out. And I think the story is like they didn't even clear the whole thing, but they got there, they placed the marker for the airstrike, and they had it called in danger close. So like they were still right there when that shit got bombed. So
sometimes
like
you gotta do that, dog.
Yeah.
At least you know it's coming though, right? You get some type of cover.
Another cool thing was World War I when they were into tanks. They were always known to break down. They always carried messenger pigeons with the
makes sense.
Yeah, and what would happen is if they broke down and were surrounded by the enemies, they sent out the pigeon with coordinates of their position for the artillery team, and then they would just bomb them fucking selves.
Gotcha.
And then kill everyone around them if that was the case.
So if you're an American, you're at war out there, any pigeons in the air, you shoot them.
Well, this was I believe this was the British forces that did it. I don't know.
Whoever the enemy
Germans
is,
did it, you know?
any pigeons in the air,
exactly,
you shoot them.
Exactly, yeah. You know? But I mean, I'm like, that is so fucking crazy. Like, there's actually in the game Battlefield 1, there's actually a cool mission where like they kind of showcase that like you're getting stormed, like your tank breaks down. Of course, you're separated. You get stormed by German troops. There goes the pigeon, and everyone's looking around at the crew like, that's it, man. And you fucking bomb the artillery, shoot all the whole fucking area. Because you don't know exactly where they're at. You're just dropping fucking shells everywhere and hoping you kill everybody, you know? That's the hope.
I feel like if I had seen like, okay, this is D-Day. This is the only way for us to get in here is by doing this. I think I would have said no,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the exact circumstances.
Right.
But it's the same thing I said about the nuke. You know, I make the argument for both sides, but at the end of the day, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to ever sacrifice that many people for any cause. I feel like I'm the same person I'm fighting.
I feel you on that, you know what I mean? But like, I guess
there should be like some type of rule. Or like, if you're president, your kid's got to be in the military or something. You know, like like
I think maybe, and this would probably very narrowly, you know, narrow the field, but I think some military experience is required to be commander in chief. I mean, come on, if you're commander in chief and you technically are the head of the military, I think you should have served at one point because it makes you rethink. I mean, there was Eisenhower who was, I believe he served.
A lot of people. Andrew Jackson, George Washington.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people that actually served that were axed there. I mean, that's how it all started, right? Is that your commander in chief goes to war with you. You both fought in the war.
I think it was like Eisenhower who was like the first one who was like, you know, like, I'm a veteran. I've seen war. It's not what I want to do.
Right.
You know, it's someone who's like, you could tell his decisions regarding that foreign policy was swayed by his military service himself. And in that regard would show restraint because he knows kind of what comes with that type of shit, you know?
Which I think they all should. And I also, last time I was talking about how, like, I think they should have to maintain a certain appearance also, like physically. You shouldn't be able to look weak, bro. You shouldn't be like R.I.P. John McCain, but like a dude that's in that bad of shape, like it's just not the strongest image for your country.
Right.
I think that you should have someone who looks the part.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Yeah, that should
Like,
definitely
look at
be.
like Justin Trudeau, right? Like, you look at him, you're like, that's like a statured man. He's not a cocky dude, right?
Emmanuel Macron, the French
Right,
president,
exactly, exactly. You're like, they ain't cocky dudes, but they just like, you're like, okay, that's a firm man right there.
They're in shape, they're fit.
Yeah, where you look at like some of our guys, you're like, even Obama, like, you're skinny as shit, Obama. What's a muscle on while you're in there or something, dude? You know,
he was like 6'3".
Was he 6'3"? Wow, sorry, Obama. I didn't know
he was a tall individual. Yeah, he was pretty.
I mean, I'm also people are probably telling me put some muscle on.
But to be honest, with me with Obama, it's like, well, I seen you ball. I seen you go to court. Okay.
I can ball.
I seen you shoot a wet jumper. You know, it's like, okay, Obama. Okay. Now, if I at least see that, exactly. If I see some finesse in your athletic game, okay, I'll give you some slack. You know.
Speaking of, I want to bring up though when you were just talking about like a certain amount of generals and shit, but it made me think about this spot that I was looking up called Bhutan. It's a country. You heard about?
Yeah, Bhutan.
Pretty much
guy from Bhutan.
Everything ideal, but they also have some crazy shit. You know, like you can't marry foreigners, stuff like that.
Well, they're a small country too, so.
But they're doing great. They're actually the only country that's carbon negative. Yeah. They literally get rid of more carbon than they emit, and that's because in their Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, however, whatever you want to call it, the country has to be 60% forest at all times. So right now they're about 71%. So they still have plenty of room to still grow. But it's literally in their country that 60%. Yep, ain't that awesome? They're also rated the happiest country in the world. They said that
I thought it was Denmark or like the Netherlands or somewhere like that. The Nordics.
It's this place now, and it's because they showed a great thing of like they created a thing of not GDP but GHP, growth happiness. You know, yeah, exactly. You know, and and they measure that. You know,
it's
and
such a shame because you don't hear about that being covered. You know, it's like
it's a very small spot. Well, that's what I was trying to get to is the fact
like
that
next to Nepal, right?
they have I can't say for sure. I don't remember what it. Oh, it's between India and China?
Yeah, somewhere
like that.
There's like Tibet and Nepal, so up those areas.
Somewhere up there. You'd be way more qualified to say that than me. But that's right. That's one thing I always sucked at, dog. And just don't pay attention like to that. I'm just like, I know the place, but I couldn't tell you what it's next to. You know?
I mean, shit sticks.
Yeah, but on this is that they don't allow planes at night.
Okay.
You can only come in a day because it's basically you're landing. There's only one airport. You're landing on top of a mountain. There's wind and everything. Only 8 pilots in the world are allowed to fly there. That's what I was trying to get to. Wow. I just thought that was really cool.
That's interesting as fuck.
If you're one of those 8 pilots, it's basically it's them saying they only allow good pilots to come. Yeah. So to them, it's only 8. They picked 8 that can fly there.
There's only 8 qualified ones to land in those conditions.
In the world.
Well, I mean, like, because maybe
it could be more that's qualified, but they're saying we picked 8.
If I'm correct, that's in the same area as like the Himalayas and Mount Everest and shit. So I mean, you're talking
30,000 visitors a year.
You're talking like ridiculous weather conditions at times.
The thing
very
is,
unpredictable.
You have to pay no matter what. It's one of the most expensive places to travel. But they want you to come in groups of 3s. They don't want anything less than 3. So if you come in 2, you got to pay more. If you come in 1, you got to pay in more. I guess it's that, and also the fact that like they don't want a single person out there. I think you don't want a Rambo.
Interesting. I mean,
they have a lot of stuff that just is funny. The husband moves in with the wife after the marriage. Then they move into a bigger house when they can. Their house is at the top. It's a 3. They can only build 3-story houses. At the top, the 3rd story, they keep their hay. In the middle is where they live at, and in the bottom is where they keep their animals.
That's cool. I mean, that's cool. Like, I love shit like that. Like, it's very interesting. Like, they have something similar in Japan, but like the way their houses are, they're more narrower, but they're longer. And it usually in the center, they have an outdoor area in the center of the house that you gotta walk through to get to the back of the house.
Oh my god, do I love that!
And it's like a little garden and it goes straight through, and it's outdoor.
I love it. I love anything open concept. Yeah, I like open concept. Right? Like, why do you need walls everywhere? But that's like another thing. Good.
Yeah, that's like that was like the old school Japanese housing. Like that's how they built them.
I got you.
Of course, for modern times, you can't have those long houses like that. They're not efficient,
Right. Well, it's better than a cobblestone road.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Get rid of that fucking cobblestone, bro. Nobody wants to drive on that shit. It sucks.
That's a historic fucking shit, bro.
What the fuck is historic, bro? Rip it up and put it in a fucking museum. I don't give a fuck, dude.
That's the historic shit, bro. I'm sure you've worked on historic buildings. You know, ones that require specific things. You know,
specific
it's like
glass.
You gotta reuse the doorknobs at all times. You know, it's like if not, you gotta fix them. You know, it's like you go through 20 different communities to get.
All I'm saying is I understand certain things, but like cobblestone road is literally makes it more difficult in life. Life is more difficult.
Like that Mount Vernon, cobblestone road shit.
The whole time, fucking your fucking axle all up and shit.
Imagine horses riding on that shit. That's some wild shit. Like,
how is that legal? That's another thing. Like, how are those people allowed to take these horses around and fucking sell fruit?
Yeah,
that bothers me. Like, why is that even legal?
Well, that, and from what I understand, what I hear, I know people who've worked at animal control, and from what I understand, like, they don't have the best stable conditions for those horses either. You know?
I doubt they got a stable, dog.
Apparently they do, like, redab in the middle of the city.
I think it's like a shed.
I think it's like, it's a living quarters for, I guess we know what could loosely define stable. I don't know. I've never seen it.
No matter what, I don't like that. I don't like it. And I've heard of horses dying in Baltimore specifically.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of that at all. I don't know, man. We flirt a very fine line of like,
but
what the thing is, like, who are we to say anything, right? Doesn't have a conscience, right?
Especially horses.
Doesn't feel. Let's not even get there, though. Just anything, yo. Like, who are you to say? Like, how can science ever prove that somebody doesn't feel?
Or, like, have the ability to think deeper upon things, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I really think, I've said it, many times, I think that maybe not 100 years, 200 years, something like that. I really think that, I think, like, our great-great-grandchildren are going to look at us like animals.
Animals, yeah.
Like barbarians.
But, like, I think one reason that fruit guy is so popular with the horse is that it's kind of a symbol of simpler and older times, when, you were hoping for that fruit man to come around because you didn't have a grocery store, you know what I mean?
I'm not knocking anything like that. I'm just saying of, like, where do we draw the line of, like, you don't allow slavery in human form, but you're comfortable with a mule carrying everything or a camel going across the desert with you on its back. Like, I understand the world's the world. Things are going to happen, like humans riding horses. How the fuck was that not going to come, right? Yeah. You're like, bro, walking sucks. We can figure out how to fucking get these things going.
Well, like, I kind of look at it.
I understand that.
I kind of look at a different aspect, like, because there's at least in older times, nowadays, of course, it's different. But of course, in certain part of the world, it's still viable, where there's a trade-off amongst animals like that. Like, for instance, let's just say for like camels and stuff, yeah, there's a price to freedom, but like, like you have shelter from times, you have water, food all the time, simple things like that, which is like a huge trade-off for animals. It's a security that most animals won't get in the wild in any form.
But I don't think that any animal signs up for it. I don't think there's animals that want that, bro. What do I know? I don't know, right? Just as the contrary.
One example that I know a decent amount about to go off of is the domestication of dogs. It's like, wolves trade that type of obedience and stuff for shelter and food and at all times, you know what I'm saying? Warmth, food, direct source of food. You're never going hungry. Domestication.
I'm not here to argue dogs. Like I said, I'm not even here to argue horses like that. Like when you think about, like, yes, there's going to be ways that you use them and shit. But when you're talking about it's the 21st century, 2019, and we're still out here using horses to walk around and carry fruit and shit, like there's got to be a better way.
That's different because we're in the country that we're in. Of course, and like I said, one reason I think people enjoy that is because it's a symbol of older times, simpler times, and people kind of are nostalgic to that type of thing, Whereas, like, of course, in America, you make the argument, but elsewhere, where it's like, one of the most efficient ways to get around would be, through camel or, like, let's say, for instance, like somewhere in Africa where like the the industry to purchase motorbikes, scooters is not available in some areas where, donkey is actually, really smart.
Well, I'm not here to deny that. And you also got to do what you got to do for your family to survive. That's simple as that. I don't deny anything like that. But I'm just trying to say that regardless of anything we do, right or wrong, I'm saying that we never really think, like, is the animal comfortable with that? I know it sounds stupid to people. I feel like, like, I feel like that sounds stupid to people, but like, you don't really think about, like, there's something you guys make the biggest arguments about, like, not killing a baby in the wound, but you grow babies to kill. Like, why? I know it's even a cliche thing to say, but like, when you really think about it, like, why is it that we see such a difference between us and animals? Like, I don't understand that. Like, all we are is some extra smart apes. We've advanced, and it's just crazy to think that, like, this show what people do when you are the advanced race. Yeah. Like, I don't believe everything in the animal kingdom, if they had these powers, would have developed like this.
So, see, that's where I'm gonna have to disagree, because, of course, like, when you make the argument in the modern age that we're in, you can make a pretty solid argument. There's robots, there's vehicles, there's cars for shit like that, scooters, whatever you could say, and so forth, and whatever. But I think as an up-and-coming species who has and a physical and intellectual advantage to where he can work that in tandem in such a way that other animals can't. That's what makes us human. But I think when you're coming up in those ancient times, being the smart thing that you are, like, most would turn to using some form of animal labor in order to make it easier on themselves.
Yeah, of course.
And I think,
time.
And I think any animal that would develop in our capacity would do something similar in some point in time.
And like I've said plenty of times now, is that, like, I understand natural things. Like, of course, if you got nothing else, you're going to use a goddamn mule to move something, or you're going to hop on a camel's back. I totally get that. You do whatever you got to do to survive. What I'm saying is, nowadays, we're so progressed, like, to be out here with still having, like, horses walk around with fruit. It's just like, it's a mockery to, like, life itself to me. I
think it's terrible when I see it, and that horse has, like, that stupid headdress on, and it has the bells on,
horrible,
and it has the cart hooked up, and it's hot as fucking shit out. I definitely feel
it's like it's just so weird that, like, man, we shove our hands into cows' asses, and inject them with semen, dude.
Yeah, if you talk about that, I don't think a lot of animal species would go through that same type of thing, where it's like, where we do that.
What do you think so with that, bro? Because that is weird. Like, why are we comfortable doing that to something?
Well, it's like, it's kind of, it falls under that ignorance is bliss deal, where it's like, if that company isn't, is going out of its way to kind of hide those things to be able, have a better brand. A lot of people are willing to ignore those things just to enjoy something. And it's a shame, because it's like when we talk about what the government does and the conspiracies, and we both agree, and a lot of people that would agree with something like that, but would never think and stop to think for 1 second to question that in any capacity, to be like, wait, that is actually pretty fucked up. Why are we doing that? No, it's like, I really enjoy milk with my fucking cereal, so I really don't care what they're doing behind those closed doors. Ignorance is bliss. But it's a shame, it's a damn shame that, like, even a saying like that, is around. In other words, like, that just goes to show how people are willing to ignore shit just to kind of keep enjoying what they want to enjoy.
Yeah, but it's also especially weird, like, when you look at, like, a thing like milk, and I'm not here to knock it. Like, I still eat things that have milk in it. I'll eat some ice cream. So I'm sure that a lot of times that has fucking, milk, regular cow milk in it. So I'm not fully away from it, but I don't buy, like, cow milk by the gallon. Yeah. And it's because I realize how many options there is. Like, there's 10 milk options. Like, that's something that's not, crazy. And when you taste them, like, I don't even think cow milk's the best milk. I really don't. I really think almond milk is a better milk. I like it.
And a lot of times, like, at least for me, I'm not even using the milk as, like, a main part of, like like something like cereal. It's like you're putting it in something or mixing it with something typically to then consume it. But I mean, there's people out there who just straight up drink milk. Some people just like milk, which is weird in itself. I mean, there used to be a milkman.
It's like that's like another thing of like shows you how separated we are. Like when you think about like bringing up like drinking a woman's breast milk, like that being out of the realm of even thought.
Like, what do you mean? Like,
if you said like, why don't we drink women's breast milk? Why don't we drink our own breast milk? Why are we drinking a cow's, dude? It just doesn't make any sense.
But this is where the funny thing comes is where like someone would probably sit there and be like, well, I don't want my wife or I don't, as a woman, don't want to be hooked up to some suction cup.
That's the thing, right? Because then you would be. Like, what would that be? That'd be slavery,
well, ding,
right?
Ding, ding,
That'd be slavery.
Like, but like, I wonder how many people would do it if they were like, look, we're gonna bag up your milk, we're gonna sell it. You get paid so and so an hour, like
they do it in Europe. There's breast milk ice cream parlors in Europe. Yeah,
that's my first time hearing about that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's a thing.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of on the side where it's like, well, milk is for,
But there's cases where like there's women who always lactate. That's like a condition. Yeah. Like even when you're not pregnant, I believe they can still. And there's a definite condition I know about is when you are pregnant, you release like too much milk. You have too much milk. So if you can go like, oh, okay, you give me a gallon of extra milk, we can run it $5, even if it's $5, right? Like,
well, I mean, it's gonna be expensive because you don't produce nearly as much milk as a cow.
You would think, yeah. But if you just kept getting pregnant, you would.
Yeah, I mean
then we keep them pregnant.
It's just so weird. Like, wow, I just don't even know what to say about that because it's like I'm sitting there, I'm like, that's pretty weird. But it's like, well, there's regular ice cream parlors that people do the same shit with other animals' titty milk.
That would be the craziest thing ever. Is like pouring somebody's breast milk into your cereal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or like even your own woman's breast milk into your cereal. That would be the craziest thing ever to people.
You get your milk and it's like this is from some redheaded bitch named Eden.
But here's some fucking cow. You don't fucking know. Somewhere in the fucking world that you don't fucking know.
Bro, look. Milk doesn't come from cow titties. It just shows up on store shelves, bro. That's how it works.
Yeah, and the brown ones produce chocolate.
Exactly. You get a couple of brown cows, then you take that same brown cow chocolate milk, and then you dehydrate it. You got Nesquik. That shit's good as fuck.
I hate Nesquik. Bro. I was always a Yoo-hoo guy.
I was just trying to say that for
okay. Well, you're the one who's sponsored from Nesquik. Anyway, but Yoo-hoo sponsor. But there was a moment I missed on Gary's ass that when I was rewatching, I realized, there was one part where we was arguing climate change, and he brought up, he was like, cows are a bigger problem to climate change than cars are.
Yeah, we let that one slide.
I made a bunch of arguments. I was like, I counter and sued on it, and I was like, well, there's airplanes, and you were like skyscrapers, and
boats Carnival cruises,
and we went on that. But like, I shouldn't even have got that deep on it because it's like he made the argument right there because it's like, okay, well then why we got that many cows, bro? Why are all the cows there? Because you keep fucking injecting them with nut every time they give a kid. They give a kid, you inject them. You give it. I mean, it's just the most ridiculous shit I ever heard, bro. It's unfathomable to me to like. I think it's like the thing we're talking about where it's like people don't do it. People don't milk cows, right? They don't milk a cow, they don't see a cow hooked up to those things. Like they don't deal with that, so they don't even know. A lot of people don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. People don't want to know, but a lot of people just don't know. Period.
And I'd probably have less of a problem with it if like there was 100 dudes out there, milking some cows by hand.
I would have less of a problem. I would have less of a problem.
Like if it was like you had a farm and you were just like milking the cows by hand every day. Okay,
But it's just still weird with just the artificial insemination.
Well, I mean, like in and of itself, drinking cow milk is weird. I mean, that's a weird thing to do.
Yeah, it's really weird, right? It's so weird.
No one thinks about it day to day. Even I don't think about it day to day as I sip my coffee with my creamer in it. It's not. Like of course you're supposed to drink that mother's milk, as a toddler, and then eventually you're supposed to grow out of it and never consume that milk again.
Nothing drinks milk as an adult.
Exactly. And then when you get down, like it's like the same thing that you said, where like you wouldn't be drinking breast milk right now from another woman, but you also wouldn't be drinking breast milk from another animal. You know, sitting at 22 years old. You know,
So
you're drinking mother's milk exactly. You shouldn't be drinking that at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like
you might. So it's basically saying that really the milk that should be happening is the ones they're creating. The almond, the pea, the coconut.
Yeah, use that milk.
That's the milk, because that's not milk, right? That's not mom's tit milk.
Yeah, and
that's a milk that's literally like a simulated thing. They lactate those things, you know, under pressure. I believe. That's how I believe they milk them.
That industry would never go away simply because of cheese. I mean, like, you could get rid of every other milk product. You know,
this is true.
I mean, like, you could even make an argument for like Greek yogurt or something. Like, there'd be riots if like you were like no more cow milk.
Ice cream.
And it's like,
there's definitely.
Well, I think people would cut that, but like no one would cut out cheese.
No one. Yeah,
no one would cut out cheese.
I agree. I totally.
That'd be like you can make an argument for any other dairy product, but once you get the cheese, it's like
people got that. It's that heroin effect. It's that heroin effect. When you eat cheese, we talked about it. You know, it releases dopamine in your head, like similar to heroin.
So I think that's something related to like additives put in cheese, especially stuff like American cheese, where like most people would consume that, even in like your provolones. But like, I don't think when you're eating like brie cheese, it's like that same type of like I think that's like a chemical thing from additives rather than like. I don't think that happened to people when they were consuming cheese and like whenever the fuck they made it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it also became like a cultural thing. It was also really expensive, so it was also a sign of royalty. So like that's we're also fighting that shit too. You know, it's like especially in Europe, you know, I know you met people who are like, you know, nice cheese plate, you know, like, what the fuck,
sure,
you know?
for sure. I mean, you go there
fancy
and you see
cheeses,
all them cheeses,
and you like fancy, like people like fancy cheeses.
People like fancy cheese, and the thing is, like a fancy cheese is like a rotten cheese, like
it's literally moldy milk.
It's moldy milk,
milk fat. Like it's literally what it is.
And somehow that releases good things,
and they don't hide that. They don't hide that. Like like they'll tell you like, oh yeah, the shell on the outside, it's a natural casing and it's natural.
Bro, I watched Anthony Bourdain.
He's molded on the outside. Blue cheese.
Anthony Bourdain was eating on his show. He's like, oh, it stinks.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, it smells like shit.
Oh, delicious.
It's like eating little pieces of shit. Yeah, it's great. I love the way it fucking makes my breath stink. What the fuck? But like, yeah, it's like they'll tell you it's like blue cheese, like that shit in the cheese that like why they call it blue. That's mold,
right?
You know,
right. Well, I've eaten some things now, you know, that some counterfeit things. Basically, I don't want to call them counterfeit, but
talk about Kraft singles. I've eaten many of the Kraft singles.
Some meat and other things substitutes. You know, I've had the almond ice cream. I've had, you know, the soy chicken nuggets. The Seton chicken nuggets. I've had all types of different things now. There's a couple things that are good. A lot of it is still bad. I think that in the future, they're going to get closer and closer. You know, that Impossible Burger people love.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they already have made meat from meat cells, just directly from cow cells or beef cells.
Like, do you think people are going to be okay with that?
Too expensive. I mean, if you're okay with what's going on now, I feel like anything's game.
If it tastes good, it tastes good.
If it tastes good, it tastes good. Simple as that. And it's
I don't know.
If you tell the consumer tomorrow, I
feel like those people are like, no.
Look, if you tell the consumer tomorrow, like I said, like times change, like early 2000s, late 90s. You know, you find out that your Taco Bell beef is only 80% beef, and people have a fucking riot. But nowadays, it's like, do you have beefless beef? Do you have fake meat? You know, it's like the times change. You know, they evolve. I mean, it's just. Anything could be possible.
I mean, we've eaten Taco Bell tacos, you know, but you've seen how that meat looked. Why did we eat that?
Yeah, but like I would also make the same argument. Like, why would you eat?
There's a lot of
frozen
things.
I'm going straight to like frozen Impossible burgers, like those.
A lot,
you know,
a lot of things, right? A lot of things.
To me, frozen Impossible burgers are maybe like, let's say you take that 88% Taco Bell beef. And then you take whatever that 22% left or whatever the fucking percentage is, and 12%, and then you know that's your Impossible Burger as a whole. You know what I mean?
Whatever you want to say about that, though, no heartbeat stopped.
Well, yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah,
so
that's
what that's about.
Exactly,
It's not meant to be a perfect thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's meant to say 100%. Nothing that can die. This still tastes good.
100%. But like my main
with
point
Taco Bell, it's like
change. They move forward.
There's times where you eat multiple tacos of that, you know.
And it's Taco 12 pack.
It's a joke. It's like a given joke of like I eat Taco Bell. Oh yeah, nah, shit myself. Like, that's literally a joke. And people are like, yeah, I'm going to get more Taco Bell. Like, bro, what, dog?
Yeah, exactly,
what? That doesn't
man.
make no sense, bro. Do you understand that like what you look like when you're saying something like that? Oh, that sets my ass on fire. And then you go and buy it and you eat it and you're just like,
that's your body telling you to stop. Yeah, those are inflamed bowels. And that's why your ass
I'm not
hurts.
here to knock anyone because I've done it. And I know that it tastes good and I know that it's good. But like when you really, it's just like with soda. Like when you take that step back and you stop drinking that soda, you're like, shit wasn't all that. You know what I mean? A lot of times you were just drinking soda because you liked soda, but you didn't want soda all the time. Right. But you had soda, so you drank soda. And like when you step away from it, you're like, shit wasn't all that. There's a like me, like for personally, like with me, I never liked ground beef. Ever. I hate it. I always hate the way of ground beef.
Yeah, I moved away from red meat as I got older and was more like when I was
I can't say red meat because I love steak. You know, there was
I wasn't even like a beef person. Like I was always chicken and pork though. See, I would always get chicken cheesesteaks if I got them.
Gotcha.
You know,
I got you.
I just liked the chicken.
Right.
You know, I liked chicken and I also was big on pork, which I think is kind of funny. It's like, oh, you don't like beef, but you really enjoy some pork. You know,
yeah.
Like, I enjoyed some pork chops and bacon.
Oh,
you know, but I wouldn't eat steak or ground beef too much unless it was burgers. You know, I'd always eat burgers, of course, but.
Right, which I guess is technically ground beef, you know?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I have eaten burgers, but like I don't like thick burgers. I'll never liked it like that. Like I just never liked the feeling of like there's something about ground beef where you're just always like, shit, I'd rather eat a hot dog. I felt more comfortable eating a hot dog.
I never liked the way it looked in the packaging, just like all like swirled up and shit.
And like, what the fuck?
Like, well, first it looks like it came out like the icing bag that you decorate cakes with. That's what you shot that out of to make it look like that.
That's like what Joe was talking about before. And there was like, you know, when you eat something that like was just killed, matter you killed it or whatever meat was given to you, like it's like a different type of taste, even if it's psychological. There's like a different kind of taste to that because a lot of the things we eat, they've been killed for weeks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They got frozen and they're sent and they're shipped and it's there and you buy it and that takes time.
And like it didn't even get cut up until I got to the store there, you know. But like that's it, you know. Like. Took a long while. Like, this cow from California. I mean, it would take like 2 weeks for it to ship here.
Another thing, man. We do cows. It's one of the worst, bro. And you think about just how many cows they knock off. You see them videos where it's got that gun. Dunk up, dunk up, dunk up, dunk up. That's just insane to me. Like, where's the value of life, bro?
Same thing with like pigs. Like, I think pigs get it worse than cows. Like. I've heard instances where like dead pigs are fed to the pigs in their feed because pigs just eat anything.
Listen to this. This is fact. This is fact right here. When them pigs are babies, they rip their teeth out. That's what they do because pigs are cannibals and they eat each other. They rip their teeth out when they're babies so that they can't eat each other, bro. Insane. It's like the same thing they do with the chickens where they burn their beak so they can't peck each other.
They'll like rip the testicles off. Babies.
Bro, you're fucking shit got weird. That's all I know. Shit's fucked up.
Yeah.
And if people just need to admit that. Because my thing is like, I understand nature. I'm not sitting here saying, I'm not on that level of where I go, people shouldn't eat meat.
Yeah.
I never make that argument. I like the idea of tags. I like the idea of personal hunting. I really believe if people want to eat meat, they should have to hunt it. I think that's what it comes down to just...
Or you farm those cows yourself.
You could do that. You could have your whole neighborhood, right? You got one shared farm, and maybe you don't like doing it, but Bob does next to you, and instead you grow the veggies, and you guys work together like that.
You cut his grass, exactly.
But I just think when it comes to like mass farming, mass agriculture, first of all, it's a third of all carbon outprint, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
But on top of just like, I think it's like a million animals a day.
Yeah,
that America kills. You know,
that's like a year.
That's just weird, dude. It's just weird, man. I think that more tags should have to be given out. We can find ways where, just like when something's in danger, you know what I mean? You can all right, we're not going to do no deer hunting for 2 years. And you got to focus on fish or seafood, whatever, chickens, whatever else it may be. Then we allow the deer hunting and we allow the tags and we say, look, freeze that meat. You know what I mean? Because eventually we're going to get rid of that tag again so that population can keep growing. And if the government properly was controlling that, because if you it's too many people now. If you let everybody hunt, we won't have no animals.
Yeah, exactly.
There's too many, right? So we got to do that. And we also got to get open to eating other things, right?
Yeah.
Like a bobcat. That's a predator, dude. Kill that and eat that. That at least should be eaten. That bobcat will kill 100 things out there, bro. If you're gonna be out there hunting, don't be sitting there saying I gotta get a deer.
Well, see, but I mean, like animals like that are like very low in population in America. You know?
Not everywhere.
What do you mean not everywhere? I mean, like concentrations of them. But I mean,
bro, there's like bobcats that get kills every day. There's a spot they were talking about in California with bears, yo, where like literally there's a battle going on, bro, of like I believe it's bears or bears and deer.
Huh.
And they're just straight up every day on this mountaintop in California. They're fucking battling. Like deers are getting killed every day. It's like shit is out here ready to kill us, bro. Eat a bear.
Well, I mean, like, isn't the bear population like endangered in California?
I don't know. I think it's like they give tags, but they won't give tags. It's like it's certain weird.
Yeah,
oh yeah. I remember they were breaking it down on Rogan's podcast. Funny how much info you get off of there. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Joe Rogan. For sure. But he was oh yeah, that's what it is. It's like the city, right? So there's a city, 90% of the population lives in the city.
Right.
Where the metro's at, and they all vote that they don't want to kill bears. The 10% that lives out there with the bears in the southern rural areas, they want the bear tags.
Yeah.
But they can't vote them out because they're only 10%.
Yeah.
So that's like a big discussion right now. And there's a lot of spots like that. Like there's wolf spots, I believe in Colorado it was, where it was like they didn't want to give tags. I think they ended up doing it, but they didn't want to give tags out to kill the wolves. And the wolves were like killing chickens, you know what I mean? Like there is predators that you have to maintain, and that's natural selection. Don't go out there knocking up cows so you can have them. You know what I mean? Change up your source of meat. There's other sources of meat that you can find. You don't got to constantly have.
I need a wolf.
Whatever it is, you got to
serve me up some wolf stew. I'm like, hell yeah, give me some of that wolf stew, bro.
Everything will be open. Think about in the South. They eat squirrels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they eat anything like that. Like that's how it should be. It should be like especially a predator. If you can get rid of a predator, of course you don't want to kill them all. You got to have that balance, right?
Yeah.
But if you can knock a predator off when you see one, you should, and you should eat it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about like natural food hunting. I think that's what it should be. And of course, you shouldn't eat meat every day. I mean, that science shows you that, right? Even if you want to make the argument that we're omnivores, let's go off of that. You're supposed to it's only supposed to be a luxury item. You're supposed to eat it every once in a while or one meal a day. You know, you don't sit there and eat it every single time. You also have your garden going at home. You know, you're buying veggies from the local farmer's market or whatever it is.
You're eating fruit all day or something, or snacking on some nuts and shit.
Exactly. Different ways of bringing in shit. And I think that it can be a contributor. And I'm not telling nobody to not have whatever it is, bro. If you want to eat pig, you can eat pig. But the fact is that it shouldn't be just constant a line of us creating pig, us killing pig, us creating pig, us killing pig.
Consuming.
It's just weird. Exactly. It's like the most. It's not even sustainable. Forget my whole argument. It's not financially stable.
Or even
we're going to go under on that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not even the smartest thing to do. Like, you know, ramping up, you know, animal agriculture. It's like that's your, you know, like your decision towards like trying to solve like shortages, and the higher demand is just to keep ramping it up and keep killing more and more and more. Especially when there's better and more affordable meat alternatives out there, or even like, you know, vegetables being as cheap as they are in most places. I mean, you go to Aldi's, you can stock up, you know, hella. So I mean, like you were saying, like, you know, if you're gonna do it, either, you know, farm the animals yourself and kill the animals on your homeland and work something out with the community, or go out and hunt and, you know, figure it out from there.
Exactly. And if you can't put that fucking, and you do have to. Now I'm getting a little strict, you know. I know I am, but like,
I kill it.
It should have to be a certain way. It should have to be a certain way too. Like, I don't think you should go out there with a shotty. Yeah. You know what I mean? And be fucking blowing away cows or something.
Yeah.
You know, like, well, it's always going to be funny with a cow because it's just so defenseless. You know, it's just, what can it do, really? Like, whatever I say, rifle, still can't do nothing.
Yeah.
The arrow, it's still just going to hit by multiple arrows.
Yeah. I mean, they do that air shit through the head and scrambles the brain real quick.
Yeah, that way, I mean... If you want to ramp one of them, a portable one of them, just go.
I feel like if you're in a community, you always gonna find one guy to be like, "I'll do it.
I'll flashbang them and choke them out."
You want their bodies punched? You want to taste the fear in the meat before you eat it. I got you.
Yeah,
there's always that one guy. You'll find that one guy
And like people that like overhunt, like not even saving the animal for
I'm
meat.
telling
But
you got to check out those DNR videos on
weird, dude.
YouTube, like where they did the show on Animal Planet, where like they follow the different resource officers to different states and whatnot, and like they'll run up on people and they'll be like, state mandates, you get two fish per person. You're here by yourself. You have 16 fish. Everyone else has a right to these goddamn fish. Why do you think you get to have 16?
Somebody said that.
Well,
I like that guy.
That's kind of how they throw it towards them. They're like, that's why it's here, so people don't overfish, and then no one has fish. And the kids can't catch fish. Exactly.
Meanwhile, we're giving you fish. Go get 2 fish. Get out of here. Eat.
Exactly. He's like, look, you have a right to 2 fish. You can pick 2 fish. I'm seizing the others. And I guess they donate them if they're already dead. Or
I hope so. Find something. Put them on ice.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's like, fucking ridiculous. You piece of shits, man. That's like when I go down. Like I was working, and in the projects today. And you go down there, and it's like, yeah, these people are polluting their own neighborhood, obviously, but you can also tell that people aren't coming here to clean this up how they do in other spots of the city.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like this wouldn't happen down on Light Street.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It just wouldn't happen. And you also see of like their dumpsters don't get switched enough because people are coming here and they're dumping.
Yeah.
So then they're filling up, and then the neighborhood's trying to put it in there, and it's just overflowing. There's literally just trash everywhere.
Yeah, which just leads to more rats.
Exactly. I'm like, disease. This is just a really neglected part of the city, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what you said about that guy, like Michael Wood or the old police officer, where it's like the same problem areas you saw back in the day, you see nowadays. I mean, it's like, to me, if you truly wanted to fix the problem, let's say 30 years from now, there wouldn't be a problem. You'd find a way to solve it.
Right. For sure. And I mean, and like I go to some spots, bro. I had a corner, you see the teddy bear on the corner next to the light pole. I hit the next corner, you see the balloon still tied to the fucking light pole. Yeah. You go, you know what I mean? You go to another corner, you see this, like, what the fuck, bro?
You hit another corner, there's candles still from the night before,
I'll tell you what, man. Speaking of that, man, shout out to that motherfucker Polo G. We're giving shout out to Polo G today, bro.
Who is it?
It's our new rapper, that I just started getting familiar with, bro. I think that guy is super fucking talented.
Polo G? Polo.
Yeah, Polo G, bro. I'm telling everybody, listen to that fucking that album he released, man. I think it's like
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Something legend, living a legend, or something about legend, and it just dropped it this year, and it's fucking.
Yeah, I'm sure. I definitely have to check him
out. This guy, it's like
G.
Polo G, bro. Polo G.
You want to say Palo?
It's like it's like, bro. Every song, I was like, bro, this motherfucker is telling hood tales, dog.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like, this guy is telling some ruthless ass shit, saying it the right fucking way, and like some of the shit he says, I'm like, bro, this guy, I'm telling you, I predict that guy Polo G will be huge. Like, what? I think that guy's gonna be huge in a couple years. Like, I think he's gonna, bro. That guy got fucking talent, man. That's all I can say, dog.
I'm gonna hit up some Polo G later on my way home.
People are like knocking these new rappers, like want to say shit about people, bro. Don't talk no shit about that guy till you listen to his shit, dog. That is some real shit that boy putting out there. I don't know how old he is, but fuck, bro. That man's a savage. I fuck with every one of his songs that I ever played. I'm like, God damn, this guy knows how to say some shit the right way.
He knows how to put it down.
Yeah, he was from Chicago, I think. He's just like, he's spitting like some drill shit, basically, but not that hyped up drill. Like that ruthless drill, but like slowed down of more of
actually
like him really saying some shit, bro. I'm telling you, popping on, bro. It's like, that's some shit. But man, I would love to see that boy live. I would love to see
name your favorite song if you got one, or the one that first comes to mind.
He had one on there called what was it? He's got one called I'm trying to think of the first name of it, but it's like Nightmare.
Nightmare. Polo G.
Nightmare.
Polo G. Nightmare.
He's got one that's on there called Battle Cry. I know that. That was really. It's pretty much any song. Like if you search Polo G and there's a list, I'm telling you, bro. It's like
if you see Polo G, put that shit on
every single song. But there was this one he got. Of course, he got that one song that's big right now. Like that was what it's called. Through the Storm is the one that I really fuck with. But he got that one that's I know you heard it before. It's out right now with that guy, Lil TJ.
I don't know, man. pretty secluded when it comes to the shit I listen to.
You ain't heard that on the thing? I don't know if I get pulled off YouTube. I was going to say that.
Don't do it. That's Polo G song.
Like, we don't own the rights out right now. So that's how I seen him at first, and I was like, this guy was pretty, going pretty hard. I checked out his other song. Every song was better than even that. That was his pop song. But like, that guy, man, it's just like, God damn, that one song, like the one I just said. I already forgot it that quick.
Through the Storm.
Through the Storm, man, exactly, bro. That one, that was what I really. I was like, God damn, Polo G, I would love to see this guy.
Who hurt you?
Bro. And it's funny because, but he's just like, you can tell like the man's just seen some shit, bro, and he's just one of them. He's like, to me, what he looks like is like the Drake of like Hood. Like Drake of Hood shit. Like he knows how to say the shit to where you want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to see like his flow and shit. It's
I'm gonna pop it on later.
You got to, bro. Everybody listen to
Polo G.
Polo G, come on the show, man. Get us on, bro. We're flying you in from Chicago, dog. Come on, man. I would love to fly you in from Chicago. I've never even seen his face. I ain't never even seen his face. I didn't look up no music videos or nothing like that. Just going off of strictly what I hear, bro. My favorite artist out that I've heard in a long time, bro. Like, God damn, bro. He's better than everybody I could think that I've liked recently. Like, I fuck with Kodak heavy. I fuck with Ace Boogie heavy as far as like newer people.
Right.
I don't know. I think he's levels above. Of course, he's got to prove it probably with another tape. It's probably his first or second tape right there. And the guy seems like he got it, yo. He knows how to say some pain shit. Like, you see, bro.
He's seen some crazy shit. But I mean, like, he's seen some crazy shit with us, but like those areas, like, they like, it's kind of like, at that time, like, it's like one of like, I guess it might be, I don't know, man. It's like, it's one of those big, like everyone like kind of like pursues it, it's like one of the big ways that people try and get out, move on and become successful.
Yeah, well, and that's a lot of thing he talks about. He's like, spent my whole life trying to play basketball. He's like, eventually I left basketball to go get the money,
Yeah.
And like, bro, he just says it's so fucking good. Like, all I want to listen to right now, that Polo G, dog. Just throwing that Polo G, just let it go, bro.
Yeah. Can't play it for YouTube. You guys taking down.
Yeah,
taking down little bitches.
That shit's fucking good, man.
Yeah, I gotta say, I might have touched with like a lot of like new shit.
Me too, bro. I just seen that one song and I was like, this guy fucking sound pretty good. I searched both of them people that was on that pop song I played for you. It was that guy, Lil TJ and Polo G. And Lil TJ, I was like, but Polo G, I was like, what the fuck, bro? I was like, damn, man, this motherfucker. That album is great, bro.
When's the album released? When did it come out?
2019. So it must have been recent or something.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, and he's
like,
blowing up. I got you.
Fuck, man, the guy's got a picture going to one of his show. You're like the one of the few white boys. You just gotta, you gotta know some lyrics or something at that point. You gotta show them like. Yeah.
Or you gotta have a nice ass 2-step, like.
Oh yeah, you can 2-step, but there's some shit that like you just want to be like,
yeah,
damn. He's like, you ain't really rocking, like, you're not even worried about it. He's like, God, the shit he says, like every bar, you're like, fuck, like,
so
some ruthless shit.
I've always wanted to go to like, like some shit like that, and like start like crumping hard as fuck with a bunch of people who just like crumping hard as shit.
Yeah,
like,
make some room.
Just crumping hard as shit, Someone steps to it, and it's like,
hell no.
And then, like the fuck, you got some hard ass beat going in the background. It's like you're sweating. It's like,
that used to be so fun with Mario, man. You just get Mario drunk as shit. I swear, bro. Go right to the middle of anywhere and just dance. And you're just like, everybody's just looking like, what the hell, man? When two people are just drunk as shit, you're always going off in your head. That's how you always feel, Let's go, Mario. We gotta get to the show.
And then you realize, like, you're just like. Fucking fur, you're off beat, you're just like, you're just having fun.
Yeah, but you're like, like I always just smile. Like when you're dancing, you can't not smile when you're dancing, right?
Yeah, I mean, like
you're just like,
I mean, either that or like if you're actually like thinking you're killing, you're just like,
God damn. Oh yeah. What's up?
You just gotta get that face that you're just like,
and you just chill for a second.
That beat's just dirty. You're just like, you get fucking like like Neanderthal like type. You're just like,
yeah.
Like, you get that one like Corey Guns verse on like you got Lil Wayne and shit. You're just like, his eyes rolling and shit.
He goes right into a deep drop. Like, wow.
That's one of his famous bars. This is like kills it, you know. Fucking yeah, man.
There's something about that.
I was thinking on my way up, I was like, man, I just gotta get out somewhere and just like
I was thinking that
some
too,
loud music and just like dance, you know?
Free it up,
like,
right?
You know, just dance is like kind of like let go of everything. You know, it's like, well, whenever I go out, you know, especially like going out in Baltimore City, like going downtown or somewhere like that. You know, I always feel like tight and like my guard's up, and it's like I just want to be somewhere like, you know, like Life in Color, where I was able just to be like, and just open, just let it down for a second. Raves are
definitely something special, bro. There's something about a rave.
Yeah,
like that. I think
that's a different energy.
Of course, you got your fuck boys and your fuck girls, right? You got both of them, but I think a lot of people that go to raves are the good people in that city or around that area. Like I have literally met, bro. I've been to 25 raves. I've never really met a dickhead like that I talked to that was a dickhead. Like, of course, you might see somebody starting some shit every once in a while, but like I talked to plenty of people. I've never ran into someone that was rude, disrespectful, tried to whore me, tried to burn me, nothing like that. You know, like
she had there was one.
The biggest problem, you're too much of a druggie.
Well, there was one. What happened? What happened? I think it was my second. I think it was my time in Philadelphia. I knocked this dude's beer out of his hand by accident, you know. I was just like, my bad, bro. He was like, bro, you know, my beer.
Oh,
like,
no.
And it felt, you know, just like, this is going somewhere. I'm just like,
you beer.
But I had 5 bottles, not 5, I had like 3 bottles of paint on me. You know, I was just like, I did not get out of his hand. You know, I was like, bro, you know, here's a bottle of paint, bro. My bad.
Cool. That's a perfect trade.
We cool. And he was just like, yeah, man, we get cool, man. You know, and I was just like, you know, it's like, a lot of times people, you know, like I'm also like willing to be like, I mean, especially if you're not coming off straight trying to whore me, like, bro, you fucking knocked the beer out my hand.
Right.
Like, you're just like, oh, my beer,
like,
man.
My beer.
You know,
like, he's basically saying, like, handle this,
you know,
please. He's like, fix this.
And of course, it was like, you know, I did knock his beer out of his hand. If it was an extra or not,
it's the
like,
worst feeling ever,
this
bro.
is a $10 beer at a rave where it's, and I'm like,
dog.
You know, at least I could do is give you, you know, this bottle of paint. You know,
I've knocked beer on people. I've knocked whole beers on people, dog.
Yeah.
It's literally one of the sickest feelings in your life. Don't matter how drunk you are. Well, for me, it don't matter how drunk I am. Like, when I fuck up like that, you're like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
All the credit that I built tonight has been destroyed. And,
like, people think that doing something like that is being a bitch or something, where it's like, nah, I'm actually truly sorry that I did that. It sucks. That would ruin someone's night. That would ruin my night.
Exactly.
You know?
Because I've been the guy that got beer spilled on me, bro.
Yeah.
I've had a beer spilled on me, you know? I've had probably 2 or 3 beers spilled on me where you're just like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Like, usually people try and square it off. You know, of course, you have your problems.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, like, about that dancing thing. The funny thing is about, like, the rave. I brought up the rave because it gives me a different feeling. Like, when I go in a rave, I already feel open. Like, already, I'm like, this place is just like, you really can do what you want, and nobody's going to pay attention to you. And if they are, it's 1 of 100.
Yeah.
I go into, like, when I go to clubs and stuff, I still get the same feeling of when the first time I ever dance. I still get that same feeling of when I dance. Like, because I'm just not that person. Like, I'm not open person, but I'm just not the guy that, like, wants to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy, like, that wants to go right to the middle and go off. So every time that I do and I just have a great night dancing, like, I'm always at the end of the day, I'm just like, you're so glad you did that, man. I've been the guy that sat on the side and did nothing. And I've been the guy that went off, bro. It's a way better night. It's a way funner night, you know?
You had fun. People think too much. It's like, well, if someone's looking at me being like, that guy's dancing pretty dumb.
People always worry about that.
Yeah, it is.
Or like,
you're always going to have 1 or 2, maybe 10 people in that club.
Especially if you're going with guys that always like, yo, I'm trying to get some girls. And you're just like, yeah, you might find some girls that want that guy that's just posted up looking good, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's very few. A lot of times you got to be out there interacting, brother.
I think with raves, you know, a big reason it's different is because, well, you know, for the most part, you know, it's like that one night event. And it's like a lot of people are trying to enjoy the event. You know, of course, no one, like, I think there's a lower level of altercation because people are there to enjoy that one-time event rather than going to a club like that, like you could any other time.
Or you've seen somebody 5 times there, and now you got a problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shit's built up.
Exactly. Yeah. You dinged your car parking lot. Last week, you recognize him and his plate and his car, and you're just like, what the fuck, man?
Slow down.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's like people are there trying to enjoy that one time and that one night, that one event. Whether they're there to see somebody or just trying to dance and have a good time. I think that plays a huge part in it. That one time, you probably definitely have a lot more problems over like 3 days and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do want to go to like one of them raves like
that.
Yeah,
camp raves, bro. Like. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely want to go to some of them.
See what that feels like, just to like continue it another day. Because after you're always like, oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
But if you like kind of maintained a little bit, you only gave like 60%. You had 40 for the next night. You're like, it ain't gone.
Yeah.
I feel like in that case, you gotta like if I did a camp, I think like I wouldn't do anything. Like I wouldn't do no MDMA the first night. You go somewhere different.
Yeah.
You go somewhere different with that one. Then the next night, say if it's a 2-dayer, because you don't want to be doing MDMA 2 days in a row. I'm telling you, you're just draining yourself.
Yeah.
You're draining yourself,
tired,
bro.
You're done. You're fried. You're fried at that moment. That's a tough one to withstand. It's like you tried to do coke in like, 2 nights. And it's like you're just doing coke now at this point.
I got 2 hours of sleep.
I've
still got a hard on.
Bottle says after 4 hours, call doctor. It's been 8.
Fuck it. I paid $60 for the ticket.
I ain't leaving. Keep it as a hard on. Tucking it in my waistband.
It's just some awesome time. It's wild how when you go to a rave too, you don't really know.
It's wake up.
You're that Tony Soprano type of feel to you.
Yeah.
But it's weird how like you don't realize how hard you're going when you're like at a rave too. Like next thing you know, like you've been dancing for 4 hours. You got 3 hours to go, and you're like, why are my legs not working?
Yeah.
And you don't really realize that even if you're just doing this, even if you're standing for 4 hours, your legs are kind of tired.
It's a lot.
I've had times where my legs just will not respond. They're done. They're
like,
done.
The times I've gone on MDMA, I've never felt that. But the last time I went where I was just smoking weed, and I felt that like 3 hours, and I'm just like, I gotta sit down real quick. It's like, but on the MDMA shit, you don't.
Bro, I'm telling you, I've gassed, bro. I'm gassed. Like, it gets a point where, like, the pain overcomes the MDMA.
Yeah.
Maybe you can keep doing grams and stay, like, crazy high, but, like, you feel that shit in your calves.
Yeah. One thing that always gets me is, like, I'll be there, and at certain points I'll come to, where I'm just like, you come out of that trance, and you're just like, oh. And I always do this. I'm just like, my face was great, and then you just go back into it.
My thing is I never sit down. I've never sat down, I don't think. Like maybe a couple times when I was completely dead. Like at the end of a rave, you might sit down for a second and dip. But like, as far as like once it starts, man, I'm just constantly moving.
But like, at that point, it was like we smoked like it was like a 45-minute drive in. We smoked like 3-4 blunts on the way in. And I smoked a bunch more blunts in there. And at that point, I was like stupid high, and I was gassed off smoking all them blunts. You know what I'm saying? Plus, they were all chalks. So at this point, I've had 12 chalks for the night, 12 fat chalks of weed. And it's like, I gotta sit down. That was the only time. If I was aided with some drink or something, I probably would have been good. But man, the gas on that weed, man.
Never do that again.
Yeah, I mean, I had to drive.
You gotta be able to get a little furry.
I had to drive, so I was just like, no Molly, no drink. And I was like, well, I want to go to Life in Color. But I also want to do some Molly and some drink. But I want to go to Life in Color. I gotta drive. It's whatever.
We've got to schedule something. Who's trying to hit a rave out here, man? Let us know.
Get at us.
We're ready to go. We're ready to go off, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be awesome. That's definitely an experience we got to do.
Yeah, another good point Todd brought up when I was talking to him was like, just need to have a little more excitement in my life as far as things like that go. I think a lot of times some of my anxiety and some of my depression or however I feel. I don't have depression, but when you feel sad, whatever. A lot of it could be attributed to me having a lack of exciting things to do in life.
For sure, feeling unfulfilled.
Yeah, exactly. And just wanting to go and do something outside the box, and just cut loose and let down the guard and just, unclench for us just a second,
Yeah, like
so tight.
Of course we got our things, like this is something, and you got your things, but like it was really nice to go out with Kurt and them the other week and get out there and just walk in the hike and like not follow the trail. That was the fun part about it. It's like we did a bunch of dumb shit because we didn't follow the trail, but it was fun to not follow the trail. And you're just like, you feel like a kid, like kind of like a kid, like, oh, what's down here? I want to see. What's over here? I want to see.
Yeah, like, well, we can go see.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like it's an awesome feeling of it. Like do things like that and like other things like. You get that full day of hooping in, there's something about that of like doing something and just like feeling fulfilled of the day.
Yeah, and just just mainly just doing things that don't involve being inside somewhere. I mean, even if it does involve being inside somewhere, just something different, change it up, gets you happy, gets you maybe a little blood pumping.
Right, because you could be inside, invite 4 friends over, you got a big ass game of Monopoly. Yeah. And have a great time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'll get your blood pumping.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
might end a couple friendships that night.
Game of Risk.
I swear, no, stole from the bank. Stole from the fucking bank. The house was cheating.
So bad, bro.
The house was cheating.
Ever since I was a kid, that's like one of the like worst things you can say to me is like when they're like, you're cheating.
Yeah.
Like because like I stopped cheating when I was like 13. I stopped cheating in anything. I stopped doing anything shiesty when I was about like 13. I was just always like, after that, I'm like, I'm too competitive to cheat. And when people say like, oh, you're doing this, like that bothers me so much. Like people in the court, I usually keep score on the court. People be like, that's not the score. I'm like, I could be wrong. I say the score every time. I try and keep it the best I can. Of course I can be wrong, but I guarantee you, I'll never give myself a point that I didn't have. Or I would never take a point that the other team had. Yeah, that would not be fun to me. You know what I mean? That would not be fun. I would never take money out of the bank. I would never try and do anything shiesty because it's not a win to me at that point. I'm a competitive person. I want to beat you. I want to know that I want something to go right for you. I want you to cheat, and I still want to beat you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of thing. That's exactly what you want to see. That competitiveness and I mean, like I get why people cheat, but then again, it's like, does that mean something to you at that moment when you won because you cheated?
Right, exactly. And it's like, weird how some people are okay with that. It's like the same thing of like, I mean, Rodney was doing it too. It's like when like people play games on like Rookie, and you're already good at the game. You're good at the game, and you're playing on Rookie, and it's like you win every time.
Yeah,
you're like, what does that do for you?
Exactly. It's like you gotta put 50 points. You're just like in your head,
100.
And you're like, well, I'm just the greatest scorer of all time.
Nice. I was like.
And it's like, I got those stats. I'm going down in the record books.
Me and Rodney used to always argue about that too. I love doing that 2-player campaign thing where you create a guy, and we like go through the season. It's like try and get your stats, on NBA or Madden or whatever. We don't always do it with Rodney when we were kids, and like I'd be like, I would always be trying to set a limit. Like, all right, we're just gonna make them 75 overall because they're rookies, and then you build them. Yeah. And like as you go on to make it realistic, and Rodney always wanted to do 99. And it wasn't like he could just be 99. Everything had to be 99. He had to be a quarterback with 99 kicking. And it's always just like, I don't understand, bro. Like it's so easy. It's so easy at that point. I don't want it.
Well, and if we both have 99, it's like, well, they just kind of cancel out. Now we're just having this. This really crazy football game where like you can just make crazy plays and
10 touchdowns.
Now it might be like 50-70 right now. Some dumb shit like that.
It's
like, why is that? I want it to be realistic.
Yeah, I want to lose.
Like I felt this like when I play like my career in like FIFA or whatever. I make a player to try and make as myself and just progress through. I want it to be hard. I don't want to have myself be 4 games and I got 4 goals, 4 assists. I mean, just pretty ridiculous,
right?
As I want to go like 3 games, and it's like, well, why hasn't Baker scored in 3 games?
Right,
it's like,
he comes through.
Yeah, exactly. He has that fire. It's like, well, where is he those past 3 games? It's like, I'm in a slump. Type shit.
That's so.
I want it to be realistic rather than fake. Where it's just like, like I went out and I scored 4 goals in a game for 10 games in a row. The first got to get 40 goals in 10 games. Like
exactly. Exactly.
Like,
you seen the other day, like
there's a version for me.
You seen how like when I was fighting that guy the other day, like he had me, ready to finish me. And I'm just like surviving. Like there was something to surviving. You know,
you won.
Being like I figured it out.
You won the fight by 3 points.
Yeah, it was very close. Exactly. Well, I ended up fighting. I was like, "Who's the toughest guy in the division? I'll fight him right now." You know, before I go up after that fight. So I go and fight him, bro. And like I'm sitting there fighting him, and like I score like first 8 rounds. Is all me. Next thing I know, he knocked me down like back-to-back rounds. So he's like closing that gap. I'm like trying to save my energy, but I'm trying to win a round, you know, and I'm just not winning them. And like it comes down to the last round, and I'm up a point, yo. And I'm like, I gotta go win it. I got like 30%, bro. I go out there. I'm trying my best. I thought I won the round. Fight night. I really did. I connected with more counters, everything.
Ended up losing?
I lost that round, and he ended up winning that round, and it became a draw. You know, and I'm like, what the fuck? But I thought that was awesome.
You wouldn't have lost.
Like, I just drawed with the computer, bro, over a 12-round fight, a championship fight. Like, it was like, you know, some real life shit. Like a Canelo GGG.
And it was hard.
Tie, you know, draw.
It's like, like a similar thing happened when I was playing. You know, I play from, I think, the second highest on FIFA. I'm not sure which one that is. There's so many different ones, but I think I played the second or third highest on FIFA. So it's relatively hard. It's not easy. You know, I lose games. You know, we were like, I was playing I restarted the season and played a different position, and you know, we were trying to qualify for the round of 16 Champions League, you know, shit to move on, and we had to win this game, and you know, they pretty much, it was tied up 1-1 until the 90th minute, and we had a cross that came in. I was able to headbutt it in, and it made the different moment. It made the different moment because it was hard to do something like that. It was 1-1. I couldn't have a tie. You know, I had to win to, you know, keep going. Yeah, you know, it's like I like those moments in games rather than just going like I would never gain 3 goals.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like what's fun in that?
Even when people are like doing it now to level up on shit, like in 2K, everybody's like, "Why are you playing on All-Star?" I'm like, because I'm playing career mode. I want it to be hard.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, "Oh, just put it on rookie so you score 100 points and get like more points, you know, to level your guy up." I'm like, that's not fun. It's not fun for me to make 50 shots. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
I want it to be a realistic game. I want
to
lose some games.
I want to be like 7 or 21, you know, like
not even make the playoffs my first year. You know, build it. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be able to lose. I want to be able to, you know, I want it to be a challenge for me to thrive, and if I'm thriving, it's because I'm playing good rather than me just thriving because the game's easy.
Exactly.
Like, it's just ridiculous, you know. And people probably will listen and be like, you know, like it's fun, it's imaginative, but like, and I guess you could see that, but I mean, for me personally, it's about the realism, and just enjoying the difficulty of it. You don't want to cruise and
but
shit.
even in real life, like, you know, you don't want to, like, there's certain people that
it's like cheating, you know, it's like you are cheating kind of, you know,
like you're 6'5", you're playing a guy that's 5'5", you know, in basketball.
Yeah.
It's like, even if you win, you know, it's like, okay, you know, what do you get out of that? Yeah. I don't ever get that. Like, a lot of times, like, there'd be small guys on the court and there'd be a big guy, you know, and the small guy sticking him. He's like, I'm just gonna post up. Yeah. How does that make you a better player, dog? Yeah. If you just post up small people. If I had a small person, it's like, to make you want to win games, of course, but like to be a better guy, a better player, you want to go, let me try and dribble on this small guy. Of course, I can back him down all day.
See, I always liked playing like those big guys, you know, like even if they had a height advantage or a weight advantage, I liked playing them because like I always felt like, you know, like people would go soft on them, you know. It's like me, you know, it's like even if they're big or heavy or they can push their way in, you know, it's like I'm gonna have my hands on you. I'm being physical. I'm be physical, you know, where it's like, you know, you're gonna feel my presence. You're gonna feel me over here.
I love them on full court because I'm just like, I'm gonna gas you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna gas you quick.
One thing that like I remember was like I remember like going to trade school. Like sometimes during lunch we'd go and we'd play ball near the court. And there was this one dude from, you know, HVAC. He was like 6'8" and he could dunk on these rims. And because of that, whenever he would come into the rim, no one wanted to go up on him. But it's like the one time I go up on him, I, you know, body him a little bit. It's like he doesn't do it.
Right.
And it's like, just put something on the guy. You know, it's like,
exactly. Try.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. You know, it's like, even if you get dunked on, you got dunked on in a pickup game. I'm 5'10", you're 6'8". Okay, whatever.
That's always my fucking argument. Like with when I'm talking, not my argument, but like, you know, talking to Chaz about like my kid. You know, it's like I'm never gonna tell my kid what to do. Yeah. Right? As far as like you can pursue anything, You know, like literally, my son could tell me anything. You could say, I've made the example, like you could tell me you want to be a woman. And all I would ever ask for is you give it 120%. You know, no matter what you say, whatever you want to do, all I would ever ask for from any of my children or any of my nephews, my nieces, like that's how I carry it. Like the only thing I ask for is fucking effort.
You're gonna be
like,
the best woman you can
You're gonna
be.
be the best woman you can be. You're gonna be a woman then. You know what I mean? Like I want to see you really do it. No matter if you want to be, you might not even want to be a soccer player. But if you sign up for soccer and we're playing that year, I gotta see effort. You don't got to score a goal. You don't got to get an assist. You don't got to be good.
Play hard, you know.
You got to play hard, man. I want to see why do anything. What is anything worth doing if it's not worth doing right? You know, like that famous quote. I would hate to see that. It's like, you know me and my hustle. Like that would kill me inside to see my son not hustle. I never, like, even when I was a kid, you hustle. Like I always had that in me to be like, you're not supposed to stop running. Yeah. Like that was always it. That would kill me as a father to see my daughter or my son not hustle.
You're gonna work hard.
I'd be like, bro, come on, dog. I wasn't even able to play sports. I wanted to play sports. I couldn't play it. Literally, I didn't have a way there. I didn't have the money. I'm giving you this opportunity to do this. Right. And, you know, you're not even giving effort. It could be you want to be the best speller. All right, well, let's put 120% in that. Let's really go for that.
Let's go to National B.
And I feel like exactly. And I wish people would have instilled that in me and told me that. You know, of like really being like I try and tell them, like, look, you want to find something you love and you want to chase it.
Yep.
Nobody told me that, bro.
Well, that the whole
like
time,
someone like, do I love this? Do I love that?
Someone to encourage and push you, you know, like,
right, and stay on
you know, yeah,
and be like, you know what, dude, if you like that, all right, let's do it. That
it's like you know, like every time like I've ever seen like some like you know father going hard on their son or pushing them, you know, super hard or you know expecting a lot of them. You know, like you always talk to those guys and just be like, you know, I'm just doing this for my son because I wish someone did it for me. I wish someone kicked my ass.
Right.
You know, and
a lot of times, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, you got your dicks.
Yeah, of course, 100%. But I mean, like, you know, I think that's a huge role in development is having someone there to be critical and to kick your ass, you know, at times and, you know, to kind of push that mentality inside.
And of course, love you and shit too.
Yeah, exactly.
But to be on you and go like, no, we're going to do that again. We're going to run that back again. You know, I hate thinking about that, man. I hate thinking.
But it's also like, you would also hope that where it's like, you know, you hope that like when you get to that point, like your son's like, no, Dad, I want to run that again. You're just like,
oh my God, bro. You want to talk about my proudest moment? You want
to run it back again?
And he's not saying it because you want to hear it.
Yeah.
He's legit saying that, like, I want to get better.
At this point, like, you're like, you want to go home. It's like, bro, like, we ran it, you know, 30 times. You're outdoing me now. It's like, or whatever. And he's just like, no, we got to run it again, Dad.
Man. Like, especially if it was like your daughter, bro.
Yeah.
Your daughter's like, no, I want to try it again.
Yeah. And I want to, I mean, there's that one video that circulated for a while where that one girl was doing the box jump.
I was just thinking about that.
And like she did it after so many tries. And
she was so happy, bro.
The dad's there too, just like yeah.
There's something to that, man. Yeah. There's something to achieve in that, you know. Like my nephew Landon. Like I went to that Cascade Lake last year, and it shut down this year.
Yeah.
Well, last year,
Timothy,
they both had to all take a swimming test. You know, they had to swim out to the middle of this thing and come back without going underwater. And like my nephew Landon, he's like, I can only swim underwater. You know, I swim underwater. I come up, I get a breath, I swim underwater. Like that's how he swims. It's like, so he had to go out there and like he can swim. Like he can legit swim, but like there was something about it, just like the pressure and everything, it fucked him up. And like on the way back, he just was like, I can't do it. You know, I had to hop in and grab him. And he failed that test. He didn't get to go swim in the big boy shit that day. Now they closed this year. You know, and you just look at it and you're like, he's never going to get that chance again, right? He had the ability. He did have the ability to swim that swim. I know he did. He knew he did.
Exactly.
He gave up on it thinking, oh, I'll have another chance. And the chance never going to come again. Might be a different one that he passes, but he'll never pass that one.
Exactly.
I think he'll always think about that for his whole life. I always think he's going to think about that time he found that. When I bring up Cascade Lake, that swimming test I failed. That's what comes to his mind.
Which is what you want to see, you know, like, you hope it definitely comes naturally, you know, and your kid kind of like arrives to that point or just wants to do that. You can always hope for something like that, you know, but like, it's like a grab bag at the carnival. It's like, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You know,
it would just kill me to like,
different. Man, yeah. I mean, it's
raise a lazy kid. Like,
or like a kid who really isn't interested in doing anything, or like no matter what, he's overeating and he's just fat, but he won't go outside. And you see this kid, he's 5th grade, 180 pounds.
Steelers fan.
Type D, he was at one point. He was, a Heat fan. He was a Warrior fan.
Not a Laker fan.
180 pounds.
This ain't my kid.
He's so critical of LeBron James, but he just never played ball.
This ain't my kid, dog.
But it's like a lot. Sometimes it's just out of the parents' control. Like kids form in ways sometimes just beyond what you can mold, or they just don't understand what you're trying to instill in them, or never even pick up what you want them to learn. Or
For sure,
what they think you're trying to learn.
For sure, but I also think you got a good chance of affecting it.
Yeah,
you might not fully get it how you want it, right? But you might just instill some core values that you wanted to instill. Like
at the end of the day, I'm gonna try my hardest as a parent. It's like, so all I can do is just try and be the best parent I could be. I mean, that's what most people try to do. Not everybody.
I just wish somebody would have really pressed it on me, of like, the thing is, I would never tell them. You never tell them we got to find your passion, or we got to find something you love and stick with it, right?
Yeah.
You just keep introducing them to things.
Yeah.
And like, you just watch them and you see, like, does their eyes light up, right?
Exactly.
They might do like softball and they're like, it was fun. It was fun, Dad.
And you would know.
You can see it ain't there.
You would know if your kid was, at least I think I would like to know, where it's like, you would know if your kid really did enjoy that thing, or if he just gave up because it was hard or something like that.
Right, exactly.
And where it's like,
you see his eyes light up. He goes and plays basketball and his eyes light up.
Yeah.
And you're like,
and
you don't even say nothing, but exactly. You're like, okay, we're going to follow this, or whatever that may be. It might be fucking writing comic books. You know what I mean? It might be jogging. It might be fishing, whatever it may be. Like, you just want them to find something early, because there's multiple things I love. I wish I would have just focused on one path, because I would have been great in it.
I think parents can also be like, too leading when it comes to things like that.
For sure.
Where it's like, like you don't want to implant this thought in your child's head. Like you kind of want to pose the question to where they kind of answer it and, give you a direct direction, rather than you being like, well, I saw you playing ball, like, let's say we go find a team, or something, or it's like, you got to play a sport, you can't be sitting in this house all day or something like that,
What I always say to people is like, you never really hear, like, nobody ever really tells you, like, do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like, nobody really tells you that when you're growing up, bro. And like, that's what I would be trying to instill, like, does that make you happy?
Yeah, regardless of what
does a sport even make you happy? Are you happy reading books? If you're happy reading, does that make you happy? And now it's my job to grow that seed from there, but you have to, like, nobody never told me, like, I always felt like, oh, well, like, the way they teach is like, you also do things you don't want to do.
Right.
They teach you that, right? Like, oh, that, like, just the way work is even stereotyped. It's just like, oh, got to go punch that clock. Oh, I don't want to do it, but I got to do it. Someone's got to pay the bills. Like, it's just like, you're like ingrained to think like, oh, well, we also do things we don't want to do. It's like, nobody really ever teaches you, like, bro, do what makes you happy. Like, if something isn't making you happy, you don't have to do it. You don't have to. It might be to your fault. Yeah. It might be a worse decision for you. Like, straight up, you're in 9th grade and you're just like, I'm sick of this. I'm straight up gone on this. And you're like, okay, you're not having a high school education then. But if you want to leave in 9th grade, it's up to you. That's if you aren't happy I'm talking true unhappiness. Yeah. I'm not talking like it's hard to get up in the morning. Yeah. I'm tired. My mom makes me go to school. I'm talking like you go there and you're like how I felt at one, like it got to the point where I felt like that at school, where I was just like a nasty person at school because I just didn't want to be there so bad. It was like, this is the last thing I have to worry about in my life. Yeah. You know what I mean? I got literally bills to pay, bro. Yeah. I don't want to be in school right now. Like it comes with an animosity towards it.
Yeah. But, of course, it's like when when you're raising that child, of course, you want to be in a position where, they're not having that animosity towards school, like, you're able to take them or whatever, or,
where they can choose what makes them happy, right? Because we didn't even have that luxury, right? Because it's like, all right, well, if you didn't get a job, nobody was going to take care of you.
But I mean, like, for me personally, it's like, I would want you to, finish school, at least get that high school diploma. and with the idea that's like, like there will be some times where you're going to do something that you don't like. It's kind of like one, like, you got to go both with it. It's like you do what makes you happy, but it's like, at this point in time, like there'll always be a time where you'll possibly be doing something you don't like, and you just got to power through. And I think school is one of those. I mean, like GD programs are comparable, but I mean, you want them to have that diploma at the end of the day, just because of how it is.
I've always made the argument that like the 12th grade shouldn't even be there. I do agree on that. I think that like 11th grade, I would be like, okay. I think if you completed 11th grade in touch, I would be okay with that of GED. But I would tell that kid that like, look, I was in 11th grade, I wouldn't got my GED. I wish I would have did my 12th grade. I just wish for the experience of that.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that wished I would have went to college.
Yeah,
for the experience, of more of anything,
exactly.
of like just interacting with that many people, living in a dorm, having professors, like that just wealth of knowledge, that you experience
like,
every day.
Exactly, it's an environment.
Regardless of $400,000.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of like the price and whatnot, I mean, like it's a great environment to experience, to be part of a learning environment, especially.
We're all here to learn,
in an adult setting,
and other people are here to teach.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. It's an awesome setup.
But I mean, like on that same note, like we talk about a lot, like where we mentioned like kids not being able to decide things that early on. I think that's like one of those things where it's like, well, it's like you're pretty young right now. You don't have that decision to be able to be like, I don't want to finish this high school or whatever. It's like you got to finish high school. I feel like that's one of those things that college fall into that category. It's like. You're not young enough to,
Well, you made the argument for 25, so it's like if they're choosing to go to college, it's kind of like the same thing, though. Like why should they be able to choose to go to college then?
Well, higher education, once you exit, the public and to where it's like you're paying for that, I mean, of course,
you get what I'm saying? Now, if you're saying like they're not responsible enough to make this decision, they're not responsible to make a decision that's positive to you.
Well,
society.
but like I'm also not making that argument to be like, well, of course, that age is like, like you're going to decide to take on debt at 18. I mean, like that's like a whole other thing that like.
You think that should have to be later? You think it should be like 21? Maybe you get out of school like 18.
Again, it's like as an individual, it's like there's only so long I'm going to allow someone to tell me what I can do and when to live my life.
Right, that's definitely true.
Well, of course, when you're in 9th grade, you're like 13, 14, 10th grade, 15, 16, 11th grade, 17, 18, and so on, whatever. It's like you're still really young in that time. So, it's one of those things where it's like, it's just kind of like one of those no decision things for you.
If you have the proper situation.
Yeah.
Then you can.
It's 18. So once you turn 18, I can't make you go to school.
If you got no reason of wanting to drop out other than, oh, I just don't want to go there for that extra year, then you ain't got a reason really. You're okay. You get out early. It's going to be an easy thing. But I also wonder, like, would I even have my kid in high school? It might be a homeschooling type of thing. I would love to grow them on like a commune.
It's a different story when it's like with that, it's 11th grade. I have a real shot, being on the, under 17 USA team, or, I can go and debut for the LA Galaxy right now in MLS. And I might be like,
go shoot your shot.
Yeah, go shoot your shot. You can come back.
You can tell me that at any time, man.
Yeah.
And I man,
when you're pursuing that, when you're pursuing other things, like let's say it wasn't sports and it was like, Dad, it's like I have a real shot to start this business. Like, of course, that age, but
whatever thing I don't fear. I think one thing I don't fear in life is being a father. It would be easy for me.
Yeah, I don't fear it. But I think it's definitely scary. It's unknown. Yeah, right. Give me another knock for me. So I'm busting them, bro. That's it. But it's like it's not a fear, but it's scary.
I just know that that's unknown. Something I could do. Right? I'm more scared of like starting a new job. And like that's something where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to meet new people. I'm gonna have to find my place. I'm gonna have to see if this is even a good decision. Yeah. So on and so on. With a kid, I'm just like, I'll be a great dad. There's just one thing I don't even worry about. It's like, just give me a healthy baby, please, universe, and I'll try and develop the best human I can.
You know what? What's wrong with them? No. But yeah, it's for me. It's particularly scary because. there's an unknown aspect to it, in regards to something like that.
Isn't it weird how people make that argument though about like vaccines, where they're like, "Oh, you guys are more scared of having an autistic baby, than a vaccinated one." Like that's like that's not the argument you guys want to make here.
Yeah.
I'm saying like, "Oh, what do you hate autism?" Like,
I think that's not where you go with that one.
We're not saying we hate autistic people, but we should all hate autism, right? As we all should hate Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or anything of the sorts. We should hate those diseases and want to eradicate them. Not saying that those people are a nuisance, or anything like that. But it's like you want to evolve to where they can have a better quality of life.
It's funny, like back to Joe Rogan's podcast where he had that one doctor on the vaccine doctor, and when he mentioned diseases, mental illnesses and whatnot, the guy was immediately on the defensive, like, well. No, they don't like to be, they don't like to be thought of as having a disease or an illness. And Joe made that excellent point. It's like, well, why not? Because that's what it is. They do have an illness,
With what?
With autistic children, and calling
I got, exactly. Okay, got you.
Yeah, and it's like, well, when we get to that point where it's like, well, we're okay with, there being an increasing rate in autism. I'm not saying it's related to vaccines in any way, but there should be alarm and not this kind of like counter movement to be like, well, we accept everybody, and of course you accept everybody, but
it should be something that we're trying to solve.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Yeah, and for me to talk about, I get it. Like you don't want someone just to be thought of as like as a disease or whatever, but at the end of the day, they do have an illness, and I should be able to discuss it as such. I mean,
well, I guess the point that you can make, if I had to make like the counter opposite on that, I would say like, well, you are treading a thin line, right? Because if we get into the thing of like gene editing, which eventually is going to come,
right?
And it's like, okay, well, what are we gonna modify every genetic mishap? You know what I mean? Like, let's say you're born with 4 fingers,
right?
Like, is everybody that's born with 4 or is going to be born with 4 fingers get changed to be born with 5 fingers?
Yeah.
At that point, aren't you affecting? Aren't you kind of like, you're not God? Aren't you shaping like mankind in your image?
Yeah, it's there's a whole slew of ethics that plays into it to where it's definitely something that comes with a huge line of ethics, and it's people make the argument that where you as some people don't believe as humans we get to play such a role in that type of thing no matter what technology we have available to us. Where I fall on that line is it's like for me it's like all fair game. It's like you're gonna fuck with the weather at this. It's like fuck it. Like in Dubai, they literally make it rain once a week.
And you think about
it's like, well, fuck it. What's the point?
And you think like well, if my kid was gonna if you're listen, it is what it is. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it because it is what it is. It's like if you knew your kid was having autism and we were far enough in genetic modifications that you could change that. What are you're doing a disservice to your child to not do
that. Me personally, I'm coming to you like, Mom and Dad, you had a choice to fix this shit.
Right. They don't even want you saying like fix, but the thing is like there is something going on there.
But wouldn't that be it wouldn't be a politically correct way of saying it, but it would be a correct way of stating that, no?
It's like somebody being born with like spina bifida. And you being like, they don't want it to be called illness. It's like, well, do you not want it solved?
Yeah, or people with, MS or Parkinson's is like, well, those people say they have illnesses. They say that they have a disease. It's like for me, like, like the way when I talk about it, it's like they're like you being autistic is like, at the bottom of the checklist for, me looking at you as a person, and where it's like I'm not looking at you like, oh, you're an autistic individual. I'm not saying you're a diseased individual. I'm not trying to say it like that. When I openly say how has your illness affected you? I mean, you shouldn't be looking at me like, how the fuck would you say that? It's like, well, I'm kind of, I want to have some open dialogue. I mean, of course, I'm not asking some random autistic person that, but I'm sure people make the argument like, that you shouldn't say that or this or that. But I mean, who are you to tell me what I shouldn't say?
Yeah,
but let's not get on that one.
This is true.
Yeah. As far as freedom of speech, whatever.
But
I'll go down that road. Let me send me down there. You want to go down that road? All right, let's do it.
What's the limit on freedom of speech?
I mean, I think I think people know what the limit is, but people are always willing to want to push it and see what you're going to do about it.
Yeah, like you naturally know, don't you?
Yeah,
it's naturally in you to like kind of know when you've been like, uh-oh, I went too far on what I said.
Yeah.
I've noticed it before, like, I'll naturally go into like saying some shit. There's been times, where the guy's pretty big and you're like, bitch. And you're just like, I just called this dude a bitch. I just called a grown man a bitch.
He most certainly doesn't look like a bitch. Matter of fact, he might bitch me like the way he's looking over there right now.
One of the worst times of my life when I worked at Popeyes.
He has a tight flannel one.
There was this convict. Hate to call him that, but he had just got out of jail doing 20 years for armed robbery. And he came working at Popeyes. And one day we're swamped in the drive-thru. And like he's just crying in my headset, the whole time. He's just not crying, but like, oh my God, this guy wants this. This guy wants this. Tell me I got this. Tell me. I'm just like trying to run my shit, And we go off and like I just snapped for a second. I'm like, bro, you sound like a real fucking female right now. And this guy is just cocky as shit, bro. He just looks at me. He's like, don't ever fucking say that again. Man, I'm 16, bro. I'm like, this dude's been in jail for longer than I've been alive. I'm like, I have no idea why I said that. I'm like, I apologize. I'm sorry because you don't want to question somebody's manhood, right? You don't do that.
Oh, especially someone like that. Being 16,
especially someone like that.
Definitely spoke out of turn on that
for
one.
For sure. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
You're out of line.
Yeah.
It's like, to be frank, that's like, ain't no, and that's another thing. They ain't no bitch shit. It's like, man, I was like, man, well, I'm going to try and test this dude,
In my head, I'm just like thankful for not getting beat up.
Yeah. In the back of this Popeye's kitchen, that's not where I want my last moments to be.
Hey, listen, even the prison bitch could beat you up, if he's been in there for 20 years.
Yeah.
He's been through some fights.
Yeah, exactly, And a lot of time, most of them are bigger than you.
This guy was
working out for 20 years. Yeah, he was probably diesel mode.
Oh, for sure. He would have swallowed me up. Yeah. Spit me out. That's a fight you would have been like, should I run?
I think I might have to quit work. I don't think I'm coming back tomorrow. This dude's going to have it out for me, I don't trust him around this kitchen knives. I just called this dude a female.
It was just literally, I didn't even think twice about it.
Yeah, calling a dude a female.
Just thinking I was young and hard.
Yeah. Only thing that comes close is referring to women as females. Don't be that guy. Can we make a public service announcement?
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
Don't be that guy to be like, these females be wilding. Come on now. Come on now.
Like if it's 2019, if you're still saying money over bitches, if you got a money over bitches tattoo, cover that shit up.
Yeah.
It's so funny how people say stuff and like we all look at things from different views, blah, 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 right?
This is your view.
But it's my view. Exactly. Like sometimes you just hear people say shit and you're just like, that we're all adults, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know that just sounds fucking stupid, right?
Yeah.
That I don't believe that. I don't think it ever happened to you. I don't think you know what you're talking about. I mean, it's like amazed that people consistently think they can just pull a drape over you and like act like there's so many times like where you're just like, bro, that's completely wrong. You're completely wrong. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you even pretending you know this information?
And especially being like someone who's like 30 and like they're getting that tattoo, it's like, come on, you should know better by now. Like, come on now.
Yeah,
like okay, I mean, like, how about just say money over everything? I was like, I get it, money's important. If you like money,
that's what you want to be.
Exactly. But money over bitches.
37-year-olds, like still comment little dumb shit on Facebook. Like I'm just saying, like all that shit that we go like. It's a fuck boy right here.
Yeah.
And you look at me, you're like, how are you 10 years older than me? And I can see that you're a fuck boy so bad. This is amazing. And
that's not something you like gotta read in a textbook, or read an article. It's just like something you do with self-reflection over time where it's like, that's not a fucking thing. Like, what am I doing?
There's just so
like,
many
I know
times,
better.
So many times we're just like, I sounded so dumb.
I'm getting this because I think everyone else would think it's a cool phrase. do I actually live by money over bitches? Like, what is that? You know, it's like, come on, we gotta do better as humans.
Why would it ever be money over bitches, bro? Sounds kind of gay.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, my bad, earthquake. But yeah, I mean, like, you're just yeah, it's just silly, you know, just flat out, it's just a silly thing to have kind of tattooed on your body. Like, what type of fucking motto is that? What you got going on with your life to where, like, you're still bitter about some, you know, woman that cheated on you when you were 24 or something, or whatever, when you're 18, your baby mama's left you for another dude. I mean, like,
I'm not sure if I talked about it on here, but like, well, what I said with like cheating, it's like, let's just say like, right, let's just say your girl cheated on you. Like she fucked some, let's just say it was a dude from the club that straight up, bro, a Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, a straight up fucking a Brad Pitt. You're like, fuck that whore, you know, fuck that whore, whatever, you know. And there's times like that where you're like when people get cheated on and they beat up the person that they cheated with, like, why aren't you beating up your own boyfriend or you know, your own, like, why are you not mad at your own girlfriend? She's the one that cheated.
Exactly, yeah.
And you're mad at the other person, like they're just gonna do it again.
Like, even if the dude knew, it's like, I'm not mad at this guy, you know.
Exactly.
Like,
but for me, it's like, especially if it was like a good looking dude, you're like, hey, you got me. She's a whore. She's your whore now. I'll move on. But if your girl like fucked just some fucking fuck boy, bro, you know, you're just like, somebody really got my girl. Somebody, this dude really clapped my girl's cheeks. Like the biggest fuck boy I can think of, you know, cheated on me for this. Some
fucking fake ass, fucking Lil Wayne looking dude, some fake ass motherfucking Trey Songz fuck boy right here. Well, he tried out for making the band in 2004. Like, come on now, what the fuck?
I was reading this one thing about Pornhub, how like they allow this one site.
Yo, shit. It was some porn. Channel, some partner.
Yeah, it's called Girls Do Porn. And they had like apparently like they were like convincing girls, you know, lying to them in the contracts, not putting a lot of shit in the legal work, and like they weren't supposed to be mass distributed and shit. And like it's basically all over the place now about that. I'm just like, this dude probably fucking fooled 150 girls.
Scumbag.
You see that video of Trump and Epstein that came out?
Oh, they were partying with those people. It was like 90s something.
Yeah, and Trump's like, she's hot. He comes up to Epstein, he's like, she's hot. And he's like, he's just like, that dude looks like a straight pedophile, bro.
He looks.
I don't think Trump looks like a pedophile.
No, but does. He looks fucking wild. Because I mean, for the most part, from what I've seen, he doesn't say anything. He just be grabbing shit. Like, Trump just looks like he's enjoying himself, a bunch of some fine women because he's a rich dude. He's enjoying life. Epstein just looks like some sexual predator, quiet as shit. Just like,
and you can tell, like, Trump kind of looks like exactly. That's exactly. He's like, oh, my pick of the litter.
Like, fucking.
And like Trump looks like the kind of guy that's like kind of trying to like show off, right? Like, I got you. Oh, look, I got you. All these girls here to pick out.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, he comes up in his ear and he's like, first he's like, she's hot. You see him say that, and then he whispers something in his ear, and Epstein's like a fake laugh where you lean over, like, oh. And really he's just looking at him like, who's gonna prey you on? And he's probably like, Trump probably, there's some weird shit going on with that, bro. I would, if I had to guess, being a man, what Trump said, I would imagine he said something like, we're going to have 10 of these girls back in our room later. Something along the lines of that. If he had just said she's hot.
So you know something else was said there.
Something followed there of like.
Special locker room talk.
or something of like, oh, I fucked her. I fucked her last night. Something like weird, was said right there. And then he like geeked laughed to end him talking about that. But also be like, you know.
I came in her, Jeff.
Yeah, seriously.
He's like,
don't say that. We don't talk.
Yo, his face in that video looks like leather, to where it's just like it's stuck. He's just like, you know, he just fucking predator. You know, maybe that's just me making that leap because of what happened with him. But he looks predatory.
I just love how Trump's like, we weren't even good friends. It's like, don't look like it, dog.
I've talked to a couple people, and a lot of times, you know, when they say it, there's like, Clinton's buddy Jeff. I'm like, he was with Trump too. Like, why are you coming? This is what I'm saying. Like, what? What? If Obama came out, as a pedophile or something, it was like I wouldn't sit there and be like, oh, I bet, Bill was there with him too. It's like if I I'd look and see if anyone else would be like, oh, George Bush was with him too. It's like I'm not gonna sit there and be like, I'm not gonna stick to some political side and be like, oh, Trump and McCain or some shit like that. It's like
I've said time and time again, man. I really do believe that like the upper echelon of this country in this world, I think there's multiple child sex rings.
Oh, they run. I mean, like I read more into what he was doing. I mean, he had a whole system with like he had a special assistant for it. He had people to meet him at the house. He had people who transport them. I mean, there's a whole line of people.
Women basically that are indoctrinating these people. They get there and they're supposed to give a massage, and then they go, oh well, he would really like it if you take your clothes off.
That was another thing. Like he would also pay, young girls that he has already groomed and taken advantage of. He would pay them to go and find more girls for him. It's like, oh my god,
the ultimate predator.
So it's like, how many men, like it's easier to count how many men are doing it than not doing it with that much money and power, or even women. I'm sure like there's some woman buying some young Filipino boy or some shit, or even some young Filipino girl, or whatever. So I mean, it goes so deep.
That guy should be put away for life.
Yeah,
he was already a predator. He's already a sex predator.
Already had prostitution charges
on the list.
Yeah,
he's on the child sex offender list.
It's so crazy how things are given to those people, like special jail setups where it's like, oh, you come for 8 hours a day until your time's served. Like, what is that?
I feel like there should be like a thing where like, how did I not know that a billionaire in this world was a sex predator? Doesn't that seem like someone that would be like famously known? Like about like Dennis Rodman.
I mean, like,
right?
He's not. He's not. I guess a public figure. Like, I mean, I don't think anyone knew Epstein's name before this happened.
Well, I mean, apparently these Clintons and Trumps did and shit, right? The upper echelon did.
Well, yeah, of course.
We didn't, right? But I'm saying, like, you would think that would like just be like common knowledge, like common folk tale. Like Dennis Rodman hangs out with North Korean leader. Like the most random of people could tell you that. Like, oh yeah, it's crazy. Dennis Rodman's cool with him, like that. But like something like that, you don't know. Like, oh, there's a billionaire fucking child sex offender.
And it's like, come on, like
the fuck?
You tell me like he never offered you one? He never was just like, hey, what's up, Trump?
Think about
what's up, Bill?
It's just like the thing I always say, right?
What's up, Bill? I got this 13-year-old.
Think about how many people they're saying he molested, right? You always know the number's higher than what it is. They said over 70.
100%.
You always know the number's probably way higher,
and
right?
He got last charged in early 2000s?
2001, I think it was.
So you tell me he's been, celibate for fucking 15 years?
Exactly. He's just been abusing more people, right? And I always believe, like, when you're around someone to that degree, 9 out of 10 times you can tell, right? If I was that person, you would know, Steve.
Exactly.
I like to think. We like to think, right, that you would know.
Yeah.
You'd be like, hold up, man. There's something ain't right about this guy. There would be, if you hung around that person enough, you would see some type of, even if you only see young girls around them, you go like, well, why you don't say young girls, dude?
Yeah, but then like it's like, well, shit, I do have 15 mil invested in this dude. He comes out, he's a sex offender. My shit's gonna plummet. I ain't making no more money. This shit's still climbing. My financial advisor says it should be climbing for the next 10 years. I should be making 30 million too.
Right. Which is definitely a greed factor.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like if you really want to be the hero, I mean, come forward. Be the first person to say that this person's doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's like an unspoken bond at the top, so much money in between amongst people.
Yeah. Because like I'm a billion, I can ruin you, right?
Or it's like, I have 50 million your company, Trump or Bill.
He can make your life really easy, or he can make your life really hard.
Make it really hard. I mean, people are interconnected throughout the world, nationwide.
Exactly. He might know someone that got something on Trump.
He might have something in like, Chinese customs where it's like, bro, they send it through.
Dog.
They don't even charge you, man.
Or maybe he does get you to fuck one of them kids one day and he records you secretly. Or logs you, in the lobby or something with a picture or some shit. He's got some dirt on you.
Yeah, he's like, you tell anybody, man.
You're done. Or if somebody else, if it comes up that somebody else is ratting on me, You better squash that shit too, or I'm saying that you did it too.
One thing I wonder, kind of, on the offside of things is like, I wonder if they have like some kill switch in their home, like with like their fancy computers. I mean, like Jared, he had like terabytes of child porn. Like, you would think if you had that much money, like I have some like ultimate kill switch, where it's like if I found it out, boom, everything's fried. It's just gone or some shit. It's like I wonder if anyone ever has anything like that. There's like some crazy kill switch or some type of like offshore data bank.
Just to think that there's terabytes of child porn out there, dog.
Yeah.
Like that leads me towards like Chinese internet policy.
Yeah.
Just to combat things like that. Like that's insane, bro. To think that like if you want to go find some child porn, you could, bro.
Yeah, easily.
That's
but
sick,
like,
dog.
yeah, I mean, worldwide people provide that and are willing to provide that because they're like, well, someone's going through what I'm going through. I got the stash. I'm gonna try and help out my fellow people. And that's another. It's like,
you think that's a thing?
Yeah, I think that's a thing. People, because like I think
I don't think it works like that.
I'm not gonna say everyone, but like people choose to circulate and set up these websites because at one point I'm sure they were in a position themselves where they were like, I didn't know where to go or where to access this stuff, or the one I like got shut down.
I think that you're close, but I think the mindset's a little off. If I had to guess, they go on there so they can get other ones, right? And it's like, I got a few, I'll trade them.
Yeah.
I'll trade them. You give me yours, I'll give you mine.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's more of a thing like that, when they get more kid porn and shit, and like videos and shit, like, dog.
100%. But I mean, like, just like any forum, there's a moderator and people who, volunteer or would work the forum, and help operate these things. I'm sure they don't expect cat to probably get paid in child porn.
Yeah.
So
it's just it makes me sick to my stomach thinking about how if you had to be like one of, I don't know if it's a detective or whatever it'd be that had to like view things like that, bro. Like oh my god, that would fuck me up, bro.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like when I was younger, when I would like surf a lot of like the different chans, like they had like 4chan, 8chan, 9chan, every number chan possible, which is just an image board. It's like, I've never seen it on 4chan, but from other various different chans, like you don't necessarily see it, but like you hear of it being spread on those different sites, those forums. There's like anonymous sites where these people just learn to reroute their IP through various data points throughout the world,
right? Mislabel things
and just go there, try and share the shit anonymously, and trade it. And it's one reason like I backed away from that type of like world, because like it's so fucking wild over there. Like people, like if there's a demand, people are willing to be able to supply and
it's weird to think that you can't take some out of that fat ass fucking military budget, and just develop some type of software where we go, maybe we ain't gonna sit here and invade everyone's privacy to find the shit, right? But if it pops up somewhere, we can figure out where it came from.
Exactly.
Let's get that software. What's it cost? 10 billion?
Yeah.
I think we all can vote on that tomorrow. Who's gonna vote against that? We want to create the software that we can find any IP address. As bad as it sounds, whatever.
We'll be able to shut them down and take it out.
It's probably out there. It just ain't being used.
I think it's used, but like again, you're not gonna catch everyone. There's gonna be those people that slip through the cracks. There could be those,
but there shouldn't be terabytes. That's insane.
There's always gonna be those minds, who work for the the other side, the side of evil, or however you want to label it, and work and aim towards being able to keep those things as secret as possible and being able to trade and circulate it.
Prosecuted harder too. Another thing, prosecuted harder. You get caught 100%. If you get caught with an image of child porn, 10 years. At least, right? You can start with 10. You can start with 10, bro, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, I guess you could mislabel child porn, right? Like, what level is child porn?
like an always saying where he's like, this is art. These are tasteful pics of a young boy.
Let's say, think of a scenario of like, let's say like you're 15. You got a girlfriend, right? That's 15, and she sends you nudes, and you fucking archive it or something. You save it. You don't even think about it. You end up, you stay with that girl for a year. You guys split up. You go into a new girl. Blah blah blah. You're fucking 24 now, and that thing's still in your archive. Right. Do you got child porn?
Technically, the moment you guys trade those pics, you circulate child porn. It's like no matter what, it's like that.
You had child porn from the beginning.
Yeah,
a child can have child porn.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, like, there's been cases throughout the U.S. where an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old, or even a 17-year-old and a 17-year-old, they exchange pics, and they found him on the phone, and it's like that's technically possession of child pornography in your phone. You know, you're not allowed to have those images.
It's like
so at that point you can't even circulate your images of your own body.
It's sad to think about nudes, right? Because it's like for me, I had an ego as a kid. You know, I wanted to show off, but I was never that type of show off. Like if I got nudes from a girl, chances are I was gonna get some pussy. I wasn't gonna fuck that up. You know what I mean? And I never did that, but I knew plenty of guys that when they got nudes, they bring it up. They want it. Oh, I got this girl's nude, you know, and you're like, he's probably sent that to people and just went around, and I just feel bad for boys too, you know, that probably sent their dicks out. And they're just like,
but I mean,
it wasn't even their fully developed dick, dog.
Yeah.
They were, 14, 15. And they're just like, that's not even all of me.
It's bigger when you're here.
Exactly.
Like that,
exactly.
But I mean, as far as I know, like that's you're in possession and you're circulating child porn. And people have been labeled sex offenders. People have fought it, and have won, but some people have lost, and have been labeled sex offenders because of things like that.
I can just imagine how it destroys someone's life. Yeah,
like
on that porn thing, like one of them girls got interviewed for the Pornhub thing, and she was like, "My father's seen those videos."
Yeah, and it's when like in California, I think it's one of the few states that outlaws revenge porn, or like sex videos or pics that you exchanged as adults. If you were to go and release them and put them out without consent or anything, like you can be charged and put in jail for that.
I
shit
think
like
that makes sense. I think that should be a nationwide thing. Of course,
exactly. It's 100%.
It's a private thing. It's a private type of thing. Like when you're in a relationship, that's like a thing. It's like
and when you share shit like that without consent, you're definitely crossing a line. So much so that I believe you should be getting the government involved.
Yeah, I agree. To me, that's like saying that you're keeping all the money.
Yeah, your kids
like
see that.
You're keeping the kids.
Your parents
the same exact thing.
It's and when you see like you've been on Facebook where you've
how
seen
much of a
videos,
piece of shit you gotta be, bro?
Yeah, like
to sit there and go, my girlfriend broke up. Unless she did something horrible. Of course, there's things I guess that would make you angry enough, even though it's still fucked up. But for the most part, it's probably people that just their girl dumped her because they're losers.
Yeah,
and they fucking went on there like, oh, I'm gonna show this bitch's tits.
Or even if like she went and cheated and you did that as an act, it's just like, man, like how childish can you be? It's like, come on now.
And I've seen it before, you know. I've seen it a girl on Instagram it happened to,
Instagram, Facebook, and you see repercussions from this thing happen. I mean,
you're just like, what's wrong with you?
The one girl who got videotaped, sucking multiple dicks at school, it happened a while ago. And the video went viral. And I believe she ended up killing herself.
Oh
shit like that,
God, man.
And it's like, people have been on Facebook and have seen those videos pop up and be shared, and people laugh at it, and people joke.
Kind of like that 13 Reasons Why. You ever watch that?
I never watched that, but I know the premise. Yeah,
like her nude went out, and basically they ruined her life in that school. She ended up committing suicide, and she wrote like notes and shit. But people, I think that definitely
stuff. Yeah,
that ruins a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, and people love to point and laugh, but like, it's really sad when something like that happens, and really, really terrible when someone decides to do something like that, and
especially if it's like a teenager and shit. Like, what the fuck?
And
dude?
that they're in their mind, it's like internet clout. In their mind, it's for that. Like you're sharing.
I'm gonna clown her, and that'll make me better.
So you can get some likes.
It comes back to that thing that I said though. It's like a video and a photo. It's like it's a story, right? Back in the day, like say it's the 1700s, you'd have to be like, yeah, I had her months ago, last winter. I had her. Huge jugs, like this big. You have to describe how her tits looked and shit like that. It's like nowadays, like you just get that one picture. It goes on forever.
Or like, like if I had money back then, I'd be that dude who like sends you a self-portrait, like oil painting self-portrait of like me nude, but like with like a partial like colonel, like general's outfit on. Instead of it takes like 2 years for you to paint it and shit, and by this time like you might have died by hysteria or some shit, and I send it by horseback, and
this is elaborate.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's with the times nowadays where it's so easy to circulate.
I feel like I'd have wrote sex letters,
Yeah,
just like describing what I would do.
Yeah,
through words the best I could. When I see you, I'm gonna rip that blouse right off, baby.
Yeah. Or people would say, just be like, my loins My loins burn with the fire of 1,000 suns. I yearn for thy scent. Thy feel of thy hair, thy lips upon thy dick.
He's perfect for a role. Somebody give this guy a role. He's like a 1900s prostitute.
But I mean, like that's what people did back then. They would just try to, write you crazy words. And it's like, oh, he's so educated. The way he describes what he would do to my loins.
And like, yeah, those same people thought like being fat, was honorable.
Yeah, it was like
you were wealthy.
You just had money to eat.
Yeah,
it's like what the fuck?
Fat, you're skinny.
Fuck? Yeah,
you're in shape.
I like him thick. It means she comes from a wealthy bloodline. Exactly. We should merge our bloodlines and have a son.
It's funny that they also didn't like ass. They're like, oh, she got the big ass on her. No, and now you're like, I want a bitch.
Well, so far, we're like, they used to have that fake booty shit under the dress where like it would make their butts look crazy. It's like them crazy.
And like there's tit things that are like all like metal and pushy and shit.
Yeah,
and, like,
exactly, man.
They just push up on their tits and just make them look big.
Yeah, it's like I should make a fine maiden.
Look at the jugs on that one. I like jugs.
Wealthy bloodline bore me a son.
And now you're just like, I want a thick, curvy bitch.
It was like,
I don't even care if she could pick vegetables.
Well, it's like, two wealthy families knew each other. It'd be like they'd want their, offspring to kind of like, you can marry my daughter and we can make more money.
Which is weird.
You can carry on my lineage. And bore us a son.
You kind of look a little Amish saying that, like coming from you with the hair and everything. It kind of it's like if you have kids, that's just free labor.
Call me Jebediah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but I mean,
you have about 6 kids, and you don't got to operate that farm no more.
Yeah, but you wanted to, create, honorable bloodlines. You worried about
maybe that's why everybody
had
your name. Kids early. Everybody had kids early just because they were like tired of the responsibilities that their parents were putting on them. So like, I'm tired of taking her to the farm. I'm fitting the fucking 15. I think it's
because you were going to die at 30.
I know, but I'm just saying something else here.
Well, then it was like,
it's like, look, I'm 14. I'm tired of working the fields. My kid, I'll be 24. My kid will be 10. He can take over.
Yeah, it was like,
I'm tired of working this.
You need to take over the family business.
Yeah. You have kids quick.
So you need to take over the family business and carry on my legacy of being a best butcher.
Back there, just marrying kids too.
Yeah.
Marrying a 14-year-old and shit.
Yeah.
And the family's like, yeah, take her.
I've watched a little bit of Game of Thrones. It was
for 7 goats.
The first season where he was like, "You're nothing but a butcher's son." It was like, "Whoa, I like the crafts." He's a butcher,
But butcher is like a low class.
Yeah, exactly.
Skill,
it's a low class thing, But even like blacksmiths were, unless you were like the royal blacksmith. He's the best blacksmith in all the land,
Yeah, then you're just kind of like the honored peasant.
Yeah.
You making more money, but really it's just like if you didn't have that skill, what are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You want somebody to value you for things that like they can't take away.
Yeah.
Like your brain.
Yeah.
Your heart, your courage, your fighting ability.
That's what I find interesting is like when people like do the work and like trace back like their family name and shit. And then you realize like the name that they bear has been like the family name for like the past like 1,000 years or some shit.
Or got changed 10 times.
Yeah.
It's because people are like,
because
it's like, God, if I could go back, bro, I swear that's where I'm going. I'm going back to like Roman, like Troy. I want to go like that time right there, straight up Troy style.
Style.
I would just love to be out there. I've always said like I would love to just know that like the weapon's in my hands, and like I control if someone can kill me.
Yeah.
Now it's like I walk outside, somebody come up with a 22 in the back of my head. Yeah. Bam, I'm done. Take $40 out of my pocket.
People would come and be like, I'm gonna duel.
Yeah, and you're like, come get this. Like they were saying to like the
great warrior.
Andrew Jackson. Like he went through like 80 duels. Like people just squaring up.
It's apparently so wild.
There was like one time where he took a shot.
It's been shot twice.
His shit like misfired, like it clogged up.
Yeah.
The other guy shot him. He took it, reloaded his shit, and shot the other guy in the head because like he can't leave until Jackson fires his shot.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest shit ever, bro.
Yeah.
I'll just charge you and kill you.
But like another weird thing was that you saw the same thing in the battlefield. So like. From what I understand, like, early Civil War, like the way people would fight with muskets, like you would fight in a line and you would shoot at each other. And then when that person died, you'd come in and take the place.
Reload, like
you would take the place in this fight.
This is right up with bayonets.
But like that was like the agreed war. Like, like you remember how like the Romans would line up, and they would go to war like that.
You play a little civilization. Sometimes you make a treaty and then you attack.
Yeah, but like the Civil War is also like that's like where like snipers originated, shit like that. Like eventually, like the shit turned to that type of fight. Whereas like people were just like shooting long range, just like boom, taking you out and like sneaking you and shit. And You know,
the
like
thing is,
war change.
Like, let's say you got like a line of 10 muskets. You have a high chance of making it to them.
Yeah.
Like, just zigzag. It's going to be difficult for them to hit you.
That
and
was
if they did hit you, you can keep going with a musket bullet in you.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's weird to think, like, when World War I like started kicking off, like the French still had like horse cavalry. You know, like there were still people riding into war with like horses and shit.
That's so crazy.
And like here comes Germany with like, you know, mounted machine guns and
Right.
cars. It's like, oh, what the fuck?
That's a funny thing that they were saying on Joe's shit again, but it's like he was talking about like, what if like you couldn't use weapons? You know, like if you were just a human in nature, like what do we really have to be able to defend ourselves? You know, like we really like what could you kill with no weapons?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You can't really kill anything with your bare hands.
What could you catch?
You're not catching like mice and shit without trapping stuff.
Maybe after like a long time, you could catch a fish with your hands.
Like
just like laying there. And
even the small prey you get, you're usually trapping. You're using some type of tool. You know,
the only thing I can think is grab a fish out of water, which is super hard.
Yeah. But like more important, like most people do spears, you know. So it's like you still need
or a
that
basket, something along the lines.
You know? So
but people do catch like those tunas.
Yeah, and that's like like where people are going.
Just go in there, put your hand in that bitch.
Get the catfish.
Yeah, catfish,
out,
right?
You know, just be fucking
this whole thing.
Yeah, right, like with its arm and its stomach.
You guys are insane, bro.
So what the hell? And then you
get it to bite you.
Then you come out the gill when you lock it in like that.
Yeah, you grab it by like its gill. It's like
you lock that shit through the
gills.
gills.
Here, that's a cool talent, though. You know, that's one thing where I'm just like,
I wish people surviving, man.
I wish I had the balls. I don't even got the balls to get in the water.
I mean, me personally, I'm not going into some murky water and
putting my hand into a hole and hoping that it's this thing in there.
Exactly.
To get bit.
I see the thrill. I understand. I get where you're coming from, but like, I don't want to do that.
Oh, no, dude. I could see a lot of thrills. That's
not why. I don't want to do that.
None of my thrills involves like hurting myself on purpose. Maybe they say it don't hurt. I
don't think it does, you know, because I don't think they have teeth.
Still, just like
they're bottom feeders, so like I
hate the thought of it, dude.
I don't think they have teeth or anything. I mean, they might have a little bit of teeth. It might feel weird, but might have a little jaw strength on them. But I don't know, you know.
Fucking skydive before I do some shit like that.
Yeah. I mean,
get my rocks off a different way. Smoke crack.
Bungee jump.
On that, great podcast, Steve. Thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. We're staying on it. More guests coming in the future. Gonna keep trying to bang out episodes. Thank you, baby.
Let us know if you want to come on. Sign those DMs. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Cut it.